NHL's basement. Rick Ball and Kelly Rudy are in the broadcast booth. Rick?
Thank you, Scott. Third of 5 meetings this season between the Canucks and the Flames. Vancouver won the first 2, both in Calgary. Starting goaltenders, Kari Ramo, the 27-year-old Finn, making his third start in the last 4 games for Calgary. And as Scott mentioned earlier, Roberto Luongo returning to the lineup. He's missed the last 6 games with that lower body injury and ankle injury after being run over by Dustin Brown in LA on January 4th. Referees Dave Jackson and Kyle Raymond, the linesmen Lonnie Cameron and John Grant may have their hands full early in this game, Kelly, because both teams are starting their 4th lines tonight, including Tom Sestito for the Canucks and Brian McGrattan for the Flames. They've fought 3 times over the last 2 years.
Rick, that's just for energy. That's why they're starting.
This could be an interesting start. As we get set to go to Rogers Arena, a couple teams struggling with goal scoring. Canucks lately 3-game road trip that saw them go LA, Anaheim, Phoenix, lost all 3 in regulation and scored just 1 goal. Kellen Lane, the product of Lake Superior State, making his NHL debut, is going to face off. And it's Westgarth at center ice. So, some interesting matchups here. We have Sestito and McGrattan lined up against each other. Kevin Bieksa had come up and had a word with Westgarth a moment ago, and now Bieksa is going to face off against Westgarth, so the defenseman moves up for the Canucks.
Tortorella at the Vancouver bench is already looking at the
Calgary
bench.
Line brawl to start this game. Westgarth and Bieksa are separated. Sestito and McGrattan back at the blue line. Torts is angry.
Is he ever? He's looking directly at the Calgary Flames bench.
So we got 2 fights going on. Kevin Bieksa is now with Schmid on the near boards, and it's Westgarth and Lane near the Vancouver blue line, while Sestito and McGrattan go at it near the Calgary blue line. Welcome to the NHL, Kellen Lane.
Handling himself really well, too, considering his opponent.
Lane is 6'6".
McGrattan just got the best of Sestito.
Meantime, back in the Vancouver end, in front of Roberto Luongo, Weiss and Jones are separated, and looks like cooler heads are about to prevail. But Kelly, we saw this coming when we got the starting lineups tonight.
No question about it. When you get these kind of guys, and you know the rivalry between the 2 teams, this clearly makes a lot of sense from what we saw with the starting lineups.
So you see Tortorella
still going at it.
And the visiting team submits their lineup and their starting 5 before the home team does. So Bob Hartley would have given his lineup in, and Tortorella obviously saw who he was starting, 4th line, and matched with his 4th line, and here's what that led to right off the opening faceoff.
We haven't seen a brawl like this in a long time, have we, at the National Hockey League level?
So Westgarth and Bieksa were separated, then Kellen Lane got involved with Westgarth and did pretty well in his first NHL fight.
6'6" Lane, and he's got to make his presence felt. He didn't hesitate to drop him, did he?
So Tortorella still yelling at Bob Hartley, who's not even coming over to engage in the conversation.
Kessler and Hudler.
And now Hartley comes over, and some of the Flames have gone towards the photographer's moat between the benches. The Canucks are over there. Burrows in his first game back with the
Shane
protector
O'Brien,
around his broken jaw.
That's normally at the other end of the bench, made his way down by the forwards on the Flames.
And as Tortorella continues to berate Bob Hartley, he is furious.
Well, I wonder what PJ Stock's going to say during the intermission about this.
You know, PJ's loving it.
Yep. Maybe not at the National Hockey League level. He maybe didn't have 5-on-5 brawls, but certainly in the minors he would have had a few.
You're right, just does not happen anymore at this level. You don't even see it in junior hockey very often anymore.
You know, the thing is now for the remaining players, now they have to calm themselves down and just remind themselves to play. And we know Vancouver's been a little bit undisciplined on that 3-game road trip, and so again, don't take any penalties. try and stay in the moment and do your job.
Some of this started for Vancouver in the first game of that trip in LA, and that was the first game since Dustin Brown ran over Luongo.
But that was terrific.
And I was going to say, the Canucks felt really, even though they lost
Yeah.
that game, that's what they had to do, establish a physical presence, show the LA Kings they weren't going to get pushed around, and they were more than happy to take all those penalties as a response.
That was a moral victory, that one in Los Angeles, even though they lost. But that's how they came together as a team.
So as they clean up the debris on the ice, and there's some blood back near the Calgary blue line that they're going to have to scrape up as well. This might be a while. We're 2 seconds into this hockey game. And Westgarth and McGrattan both without their jerseys on because they had blood on them, so they have to be replaced, and that's why we've got a delay right now, Kelly.
Yeah. Now, this is a real challenge for the goaltenders. We know Luongo's been out for a while, and you like to get that first shot fairly quickly, and then when you're going to have a 5-minute delay ballpark, it really works or plays on your mind. So both goaltenders are going to have to try and just remember what their job is, and that's stop the first shot. Don't get carried away worrying about the 10th shot. First one.
The last time I saw a defenseman step up and take a face-off to start a game as a matchup was a Kelowna Rockets Medicine Hat Tigers game in the mid-90s, and it was Rocky Thompson who was playing defense for the Tigers, stepping up to line up next to Scott Parker, who was playing for the Kelowna Rockets. And you can figure out for yourselves what happened.
The two of them?
Yes.
Now, who won that? Because both are pretty tough guys.
That was a good tilt. That was a 3-rounder. That was jersey on, pads on, then jersey off, and shoulder pads only, then shoulder pads off.
Rocky's done well for himself in the hockey community. He's a well-respected coach in the minors.
Need a carpenter down there to expand the penalty boxes. And this is how it all started. And there's Bieksa with Westgarth. And the funny thing is they never went.
Right.
As Bieksa replaced Kellen Lane, who winds up fighting Kevin Westgarth and against a pretty tough customer in his first NHL fight, in his first NHL game. Kellen Lane did pretty well.
Why do I always get the feeling Kevin Bieksa loves this kind of hockey?
All 5 skaters on the ice, both teams get 5 minutes for fighting. So after all that, we're going to stay 5-on-5.
All right, well, we don't have to worry if the teams are engaged or not. We know that's a fact.
Both these teams looking for a spark.
Yeah.
We'll see which one responds better after some old school shenanigans at Rogers Arena. We've talked about this a lot, Kelly. You and I have done a handful of Calgary Flames together this year. They may be near the bottom of the standings in the NHL.
Yeah.
Bob Hartley has this team working hard almost every night.
The coaching staff has to be given a lot of credit for the Flames because it's not often where this team doesn't compete at its highest level. You can argue that their skill's not there, and that's pretty safe to say. And it starts really in the mornings, Rick, with their practices. Their pregame skates are terrific. There's lots of different drills going on, lots of teaching, and so on. And Bob Hartley talked about that this morning, that really is the goal with a lot of these young guys. You'll see guys like Sean Monahan doing more things now, more responsibilities on the penalty kill occasionally and so on. And so this really is a team that they're trying to grow their team unity and morale.
Well, and now we see players leave the ice, and I'm wondering if secondary fights lead to misconduct. We don't have the official rulings yet from all of the scraps, but I think we're going to see some ejections here, Kelly, to start this game.
And so knowing both teams are fairly tired as well, that's going to really tax some of these players. Although, granted, some of the players aren't their key guys.
So Westgarth, McGrattan remain in the Calgary box. Question is, does Kellen Lane get kicked out of the game 2 seconds into his first NHL game?
Now, that's not when you envision when you grow up, is it?
And he's leaving along with Bieksa. So both these teams are going to be short-staffed for basically an entire hockey game.
Lane grew up in Oakville, Ontario, and you dream about when you're playing hockey as a kid there, that your first National Hockey League game is going to be a dandy. Hopefully not just 2 seconds.
That'll be memorable for different reasons. Kellen Lane's parents and his brother all flew out from Oakville for the game tonight. So it was, it was a lively 2 seconds of his National Hockey League debut.
Well, that'll be an interesting discussion at dinner later, won't it then? If in fact he is kicked out. How'd you think I played, Mom and Dad?
Well, let's not forget, as big as he is, he played college hockey, so no fighting in the NCAA at Lake Superior State, and he steps up against a big, tough guy. How many teams in the NHL, since the Flames picked up Kevin Westgarth at the end of December, Kelly, can put a line out that has two 6'4", 235-pound wingers in Westgarth and Brian McGrattan? That is unusual.
And they know their jobs. They don't have to be convinced what to do on the ice. So those are two well-respected guys for the roles they're in, and even a guy like Brian McGrattan should get a lot of credit because he rarely takes a poor penalty. He knows his role, willing to drop the gloves, but very rarely does he ever put his team in trouble with a bad penalty.
Now, it looks like the Flames are going to be short-handed here. There is 2 minutes up on the Calgary side on the score clock, and it appears the Canucks are sending out their power play, which will feature Alex Burrows back in the lineup. Still doesn't have a goal this year, Kelly, but we all know the magic he's had with the Twins since they were put together. In the last 5 years, Alex Burrows has 130 goals. He's been bitten by the injury bug. He broke his foot in the first game of the season, and then the broken jaw in Carolina early December. This is his first game back. He's wearing the full mask to protect his jaw, and he is stoked to get back in the lineup.
And the Twins love having him on their line, even though for this face-off setup, Kessler's taking the draw.
So it looks like Colborne is going to serve the Westgarth penalty.
We're getting close to playing hockey anyways.
The extended pregame show. Well, the curious thing is, we talked to John Tortorella earlier today. He said he really loved his team's intensity against LA. Not a big fan of all the fighting shenanigans.
Right.
Look at how this game starts.
Well, they have to respond, and he did talk about, and not in this sort of situation, but they do have to take fewer penalties. They had they've been shorthanded 24 times in the last 3 games, Vancouver Canucks, so that's going to have to change.
So all the players except for the initial combatants, which were Sestito and McGrattan, have been kicked out of the game.
Yeah.
So the other 4 skaters for both teams, all in secondary fights, all gone. Calgary takes the extra 2. That went to Westgarth, and the Canucks will go on the power play 2 seconds into the hockey game.
All right, let's play some hockey.
So a Canucks power play that has struggled this season, 24th in the league. We'll try and get something going here. As off the draw, the puck goes all the way down the ice, and Daniel Sedin, who will man one of the points with Edler, goes back to it. Now Edler brings it out of his own zone. Drop pass center ice to Henrik. Henrik tries to fire it across, lost the puck, and it's played to center ice by Stajan, where Edler's able to pick it up over to Burrows. He'll fire it in wide. Daniel after it. Fires it around to Burrows on the right wing boards. Battling in the corner with Giordano. Brody comes over to help out. Canucks get it to the other side. Here's Daniel. Back around to Henrik on the half boards. To the point to Edler. Edler. Patience. Now to Henrik. Burrows out front. Kessler one-timer. Put it high. Puck stays in play. Henrik. Behind the net to Daniel. Daniel back to Henrik. Edler at the line. Slap shot. Deflects off traffic. Line of the goal. Canucks get it back. Burrows over to Henrik. Stajan watching him. Henrik takes his time. Burrows out front. Henrik. Daniel. Edler. One-timer. Broke his stick. Puck comes to Kessler on the backhand. Here's Henrik. Has to settle it down. Out front. Daniel with a shot. That's blocked by Boma. Bouncing rebound. Henrik. Edler's got a new stick. Now it's Hamhuis off the bench joining the power play. Out front. Daniel tipped on goal. Ramos in. Kessler's second shot bounces off Brody wide of the goal. Good pressure by this Canucks power play. Boma gets a loose puck, finally able to fire it down the ice. 25 seconds left in the Calgary penalty.
They looked pretty hungry, didn't they? They had some good chances, good movement. So that's a start.
Second unit out there, late stages of the power play as Hamhuis fires the puck in. Cassian to it, now Higgins down low. Took a bump on the inboards. Puck comes free to Backlund, and he'll clear, and that'll do it. Colborne on his feet, steps out of the box. No official shots, although some good chances on that power play for Vancouver. Loose puck, Canucks line. Stempniak keeps it alive. Bit of room, throws it out front to Colborne on the backhand. Never got a shot away, and O'Brien can't keep the puck on side. Cleared past him. And back to Calgary territory as both teams start a change. Dennis Weidman behind his own net, waiting for the breakout to set up. Bank pass off the boards. Colborne tips it in. Tanev back to it. Monahan, the outstanding rookie for the Flames, in on the forecheck. Canucks get it up the far side, and Kessler will clear. A little too far for Edler. He'll jump up on the play and then peel off as Brody gets to it. David Booth back in the lineup for his third straight game, and he's been very good the last 2 games for Vancouver.
Yep. Skating well, taking pucks to the net.
Physical, couple of checks on this shift. It's Tanev in his own zone over to Edler. Up to Booth. He'll chip it in. Richardson, Kessler on the forecheck. Kessler bumps Weidman on the end boards. Richardson out front to Booth with a shot, put it wide. Puck in towards his feet. He couldn't get a good shot away. Richardson down low on the backhand to the point to Hamhuis. Works it across with a shot. Never got it through. Brody got a stick in the way. He goes to the corner with Kessler. Richardson battling now with Stajan. Puck along the boards. Richardson wins the fight. Booth in the circle over to Dan Hamhuis. Waits for a screen. Doesn't shoot. Throws it wide of the goal around to Richardson on the right side. Stajan watching him. Richardson coughs it up to Brody. He'll clear it out. Trying to spring Stajan. A little too far, but Stajan ahead of the play will take off the icing call. Weber battling with Stajan behind the Vancouver net. Now Hudler comes in to help out. Threw it back to the line. That bounces off Burrows into the corner. Here's a chance for Stepniak with a shot, and Luongo makes his first save. Giordano over the loose puck. Over to O'Brien for a one-timer. Hit the post. Louis May got a piece of that.
I think he got it with his shoulder.
Yep, good eye, Kelly. Back to the line. Here's Giordano. Over to O'Brien. Another one-timer. Put it just wide. Puck comes to Daniel Sedin. He'll have room to bring it out. Right wing center. Burrows joins him on the rush. They crisscross over the line. Daniel swings wide left out front to Burrows. Tipped on goal. Robidoux makes the save. Penalty coming up to Calgary. Tanev over to Edler. Delayed call. Luongo hasn't noticed yet. Now he does. Heads to the bench. Edler. Long shot from the line. Bounces off Rommel wide. Burrows behind the net. Lost the puck to Giordano. And more pushing and shoving. Giordano throwing punches at Burrows. Again, he's wearing the full shield. Another fight breaks out. That's Kassian going after Boma, who throws a right over the shoulder of the linesman.
2 or 3 rights. He got him pretty good right there.
So any notion that what happened off the start of the game, Kelly, would cool things down for the rest of the night, I think will put to rest with that shift.
Why? It's only been 4.5 minutes since we had a brawl. Let's take a look how this all started. Giordano and Burrows. Kassian comes in there, and at that point Giordano's going to go after Burrows, knowing that he's just coming back. That facial injury, not giving him a break whatsoever. Both teams talked about being disciplined and not taking unnecessary penalties. Giordano gets a stick in midsection of Burrows, and so he's going to go away for 2 minutes or less.
So we'll see what happens with the shenanigans after the penalty call, whether or not that'll even out.
Stajan and Henrik Sedin talking about what's going on and how the game has started. Lance Boma sporting some damage below his eye. So he and Kassian were involved pretty heavily, and I would suspect Kassian got in a pretty good shot then.
Henrik Sedin skating to the bench. Was a question mark tonight, and we'll see how Boma got cut in that scrap.
So Boma's right, yeah, he gets a left one from Kassian. And the linesman is holding his arms at the time and that's why he went after Kassian so aggressively after that, thinking that seems a little unfair. I'm being held by the linesman, you get in a free shot. Well, It doesn't work that way. I'm going to be coming back at you.
So Boma's got to go off for repairs, and it looks like the Canucks took a penalty after the penalty call on Giordano for the hook on Burrows, and we're back to 5-on-5. So no power play here. 4.5 minutes gone. A wild start in Vancouver. No score. Weber to a loose puck in his own zone. Bumped by Byron. Edler knocked down by Colborne in the corner. Gets back to his feet. Gets the puck, puts it behind the net. Backlund races to it first, throws it out front. That's blocked. Byron onto it in the corner. Weber's dropped his stick, but it's corralled by Edler. He'll put it off the boards. Weidman able to keep it onside with a long shot. That deflects high. Stays in play. Bounces out front. Tipped away. Backlund keeps it alive, though. Works it back to the point to Brody. Across for Weidman. Deflects high. Knocks it down with a shot up high over top of the goal. Rims around the glass. Stays in. Good play by Brody to keep it alive. Down low to Backlund. Had a 3-game goal streak come to an end last game, but he's been very good in the last few weeks for the Flames. Now Hudler, their top scorer. Backlund, high slot with a shot, put it just wide.
Luongo didn't see that at all. Good screen in front.
That was close as Higgins brings it back the other way for Vancouver and dumps it in. Canucks change. Brody to it. Hansen on the forecheck. TJ Brody. Hassled. Turns back. Daniels in deep. Forces Brody to play it across behind the net to Weidman. He'll feed it up and get the return pass himself and stage it. Stempniak carries in now. Flips it across. High pass knocked down by Tanev, but kept onside by Stage into Hudler down low. Stempniak out front. There's the pass. Hamhuis got a stick in the way. And the Canucks turn up ice as Daniel takes a pass from Henry. Daniel Sedin crisscrossing with Burrows over the line. Here's Hamhuis down low. Burrows out front. Shot. Ramos steers that aside. Rebound play back to the right point. Tanev over to Daniel back at the left point. Slap shot by Daniel goes wide of the goal. Tanev will keep the play alive. Henrik now. Daniel hopped off his stick. Hustles back to it to keep it in. Now in front to Henrik. Shot. Stop. Rebound. Knocked away by Byron, who clears it out to center ice. Not for lack of chances, still scoreless in Vancouver as the Canucks ice the puck with 6.5 minutes gone in the first period. Get an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at your favorite NHL stars and teams on the all-new series, NHL Revealed, a season like no other, premiering Thursday at 9 o'clock on CBC TV.
Well, let's see if we're going to play a little bit more hockey here. It's going to get rough again.
They've gone a good 3 minutes since the last
impressive
brouhaha. As Giordano can't keep the play on side, Brody hustles back to the puck at his own line. The Canucks make a change after that icing call. Quick up by Brody to Colburn. He took a bump along the boards by Booth, and here comes Richardson. Down the wing into the zone. Trying to pull it around Brody, can't do it. Booth follows up, put it out front. Goes through the crease out the other side. Weber activates. Tipped it away from Gagliardi. Brody gets over to it in the corner. He's checked, but stays on the puck. Now he tips it ahead to Gagliardi. It's cleared out the center ice. Penalty coming up here. And the Flames about to get their first power play of the game with 12:58 to go in the first. It's been a wild one. Still scoreless in Vancouver on CBC. Scoreless in Vancouver. Sorry, Kelly. Brad Richardson sitting for this.
Sorry, bud. Yeah, for holding, and pretty obvious penalty right here in the corner. TJ Brody has the puck, and Richardson loses his stick, and so he throws his arm in there and, hey, let me see if I can't take the puck away or grab your stick. And so he goes to the box.
Calgary's power play goes to work for the first time tonight. 27th ranked in the league. Canucks penalty kill is third. Canucks gave up 6 power play goals against Anaheim 2 games ago, Kelly, on 11 chances, and their power play dropped by 3.1 percentage points in one game.
That hurts.
They were the top in the league at that point. Hudler gives the puck to Stempniak, comes back to the line where it's controlled by Giordano. He'll put it down low. Backlund trying to feather it out front. That goes off the back of the net. Weidman jumps up from the point to go to the puck. He's checked by Higgins. The Canucks able to clear it down the ice.
Good pressure by the Vancouver forwards, Kessler and Higgins.
Mark Giordano out of his own zone. Flames captain drops it off for Hudler. Ahead to Stempniak, and he'll bring it in. Cross-ice pass, Backlund. Shot, Luongo with a pad save. Giordano to it. Hudler behind the net. Throws it back to Giordano. High slot with a shot, whistling wide. Hudler back out front with a pass, blocked by Hamhuis. Backlund gets the puck. Former Kelowna Rocket working down low, feeds the puck to Hudler in the corner. Yuri Hudler slowly up the boards. Now to Stempniak, passing his skates. Backlund trying to get to it, knocks it aside to Giordano. Now Weidman at the line, won't shoot. Over to Giordano. Cross ice to Hudler along the boards. 55 seconds left in the power play. Weidman, Giordano. Top of the circle, side of the goal, Backlund out front, Stempniak, Tanev cut it off. Backlund bumps him on the end boards. Puck goes to the corner, Giordano knocked down there by Jannik Hansen. Weidman hustles over to keep it in with a shot. That deflects off of Backlund into the corner as Tanev tries to hustle over to the puck in traffic. Now it's squirts free and it's fired off the boards and down the ice by Dan Hamhuis, who will head to the bench with the rest of his penalty killers.
Sure fun watching Michael Backlund play now, isn't it? He really competes hard, and you can just see the confidence oozing out of him.
And he's getting rewarded with ice time. Since the start of the new year, he's averaged 20 minutes a night.
He's earned it the right way, too. Sheer hard work and determination.
Brody back at the line, second unit out there late in this power play. Weidman stays, though, with a shot that he put wide. TJ Brody keeps it in. Behind the net, Edler tips that away from Colburn, but Colburn, good job to get the puck back. Nice pass to Weidman, penalty over, shot, Luongo save, rebound deflects high over top of the net. Brad Richardson hustles back into the play from the penalty box. Scoreless game, approaching the midway mark of the first. Started with a line brawl. Monahan over the line. Just the one shot on goal in that power play for Calgary. As Edler breaks up that rush and feeds it ahead to Daniel. Lost it at the line to former teammate Shane O'Brien. And there's Brody to clear. Tanev, too far for Henrik. O'Brien puts it ahead, and Gagliardi turns it back the other way. 3 Flames over the line. Gagliardi shot through the legs of Hamhuis. That whistles wide. Stempniak feeds it out front to Stajan. Back to Stempniak with a shot. Luongo save. Big rebound swatted aside by Hamhuis. Stajan to the puck in the corner. Stempniak try to feed it out front. Couldn't. Battle to the right of Luongo. Puck comes to the near side, and Dan Hamhuis gets over to it. Plays it off. Daniel Sedin sticking out to center ice. Fired back in by the Flames, and this will be icing on Calgary.
You mentioned.
Well, take your game to the next level with Hockey Night Second Screen. Interact and compete for prizes. Be part of our broadcast. Join us at cbcsports.ca/second screen.
Rick, you mentioned only one shot for the Flames on the power play, but Michael Backman had that one, and Luongo with a good save.
Off the draw, Flames clear. Shot 6-4 in favor of Vancouver. Booth over the line. Chips it past Giordano, who hustles back for Calgary. Brody now in the corner. Popped it up at the line to Booth, but he couldn't control that, and here comes Backlund through center. In on the right side with a shot off the boards, blocked by Edler. Colburn on the forecheck is tied up. Puck goes to the other side, and there's Hansen to clear the zone to Brad Richardson at center ice. Works it in by himself, waiting for Booth to join him. Off the bench is Kassian. Puck played behind the net. TJ Brody's back there. Ahead for Hoodler. Hamhuis pinches. Flames clear, and a 2-on-1 chance. Brody has Backlund with him. Here's Brody right in. Stopped by Luongo. Stops the rebound. Two chances for TJ Brody, the defenseman, jumping up on the play, and Luongo with a couple more saves. Booth to center ice will shovel the puck in. Head off to finish off a Vancouver change. Weidman. Off the stick of Stempniak at center. He's hit by Burrows, but gets it ahead to Byron, who dumps the puck in. He hits Edler in the corner. Kassian back to help out. Yannick Weber behind the net. Puts it off the glass and out. Maybe icing. And will be. 8.5 to go in a scoreless first period.
One of the first mistakes of this game, Dan Hamhuis decides to pinch, and he's been such a good, dependable player. Then lose the puck battle right there. Colburn just fires it up in a 2-on-1 right here. And Luongo reading that beautifully. Brody, just such a beautiful skater.
Tempers boiling over again. This is a stoppage and play dust up here. It started with Alex Burrows and Yuri Hoodler. And now Kessler throwing punches at Hoodler as the linesmen break them up. Kassian, Shane O'Brien are having words at the blue line.
That would have been some fight, wouldn't it? Those two, Kassian and O'Brien.
They're the same weight class.
Two old school guys.
And this is how it all got going right here.
All right, former teammates. Burrows goes after O'Brien. O'Brien's telling Kassian how the game should be played, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Kassian saying, you know, any good tips you have, I'm more than happy to listen. And then Burrows and Yuri Hoodler were going at each other. That's an interesting matchup. Hoodler's not exactly a fighter, and Burrows has got the
He's got a temper, though. Hoodler's got a real temper. He can get pretty wired.
Kassian being sent to the room. All this happening with 8:33 to go in the first period. So we haven't had a goal, but we've had just about everything else.
13 shots between the two teams. Calgary 7-6. Some pretty good saves so far. It's not been a game of lots of chances, but been a couple good ones for both sides.
So more to sort out at the timekeeper's table. And it looks like the Canucks may be shorthanded, Kelly, on all this, as the Flames look like they're going right back on the power play.
Ryan Kessler's going off. They've lost some pretty good players, the Canucks, in this short 12 minutes, not quite 12 minutes, with Garrison, Biex out. Cassian going to the dressing room, Kessler going to the dressing room.
Tortorella counting 1, 2. I think we got 7 guys on the bench.
Can we field a team?
Flames don't have many more. In fact,
No.
this will be like a rec league, Kelly. 3-minute shifts.
Except without the beer drinking after.
All right, Calgary gets a power play out of all that. It'll be their second opportunity of the game as Burrows takes the extra 2.
It's almost now to the point, though, just as we were talking after the first 5-on-5 brawl. Now you have to settle in, though, calm yourself, and remember to play the game.
Yeah, usually those kind of set the tone and then it's quiet
Right.
after that. But this has continued on, which is interesting because the Flames are the second worst record
Yeah.
and in the West, and they don't score a lot. They give up a lot of goals, and you think, where's the fight left in a team that's not going to make the playoffs? But as we talked about earlier, Bob Hartley is doing a great job getting his guys fired up on a nightly basis. It's not always this stuff.
That's right.
Just playing hard.
Just playing
generally.
hard,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's rare that they get outworked by the other team. Now, they don't have the talent sometimes, but
So I'm not sure what Hartley is upset about. They wind up with a power play out of all that. Shots are 7-6 in favor of Calgary, and Hoodler, Backlund, Stajan, Weidman, Giordano out there on the power play. And we're finally back underway. Giordano, now Backlund. Stajan. Off the boards to Giordano. Back to Stajan. Back to Giordano, but Richardson sticks his foot out and kicks that puck outside the zone. Fired back in by Giordano. Tanev gets there ahead of Backlund. Stajan comes in to help out. Yuri Hoodler beaten to the puck by Richardson in the corner, and makes a nifty play back to Hamhuis. And Dan Hamhuis will be joining you in after hours tonight, able to fire it down the ice.
looking forward to it. So Burrows takes the extra 2 and misconduct. That's why the Flames go on the power play.
Here's Weidman. Over the line, down the wing. Throws a cross-ice pass over to Backlund, left side. Now for Hoodler, tipped up by Yannick Hansen.
Good read by Hansen.
Thought he might take off after that
I did too.
puck, but he didn't. That allows Giordano to get back to it. Midway through this Calgary power play. Weidman over the line with a shot around the glass. Bounces over to Weber in the corner, and he'll fire it down the ice. The saving grace for the Canucks with their power play struggling has been their penalty killing. Until this week, it's been excellent almost the entire season.
I think goaltending has something to do with it too. Eddie Lack.
Spoken like a former goalie.
Right.
I'm kidding. You're right, obviously.
Yeah, with Luongo out, Eddie Lack really played extremely well. Pulled the one game versus Anaheim, but safe to say everybody was a little off in that one.
We're 13 minutes into this game. There have been 176 minutes in penalties.
Lots to look forward to then.
Now the Flames set it up late in the power play. Colburn back to Weidman. Works it down the boards to the corner. Behind the net to Colburn. Nice pass out front to Byron with a shot. That's blocked by Hamhuis. It bounces to Weidman. Byron, Weidman. Across to Brody. Boots out of the box. Brody with a shot. Luongo makes the save, and he's able to hang on. Canucks kill off the second straight Calgary power play, and we're still scoreless. 6.5 minutes left. First period on CBC.
One of the few Vancouver Canucks left in the game. Henrik Sedin couldn't play in the final 4 minutes of Thursday night's loss in Phoenix after a cross-check to the ribs from Martin Hanzal, so there was a lot of attention paid the possible end of his Ironman streak tonight. John Tortorella made clear this morning the Ironman streak had nothing to do with Sedin playing tonight. Sedin backed that up by saying the streak means more to trainer Mike Bernstein than it does to him, and I'm not sure the streak holds a lot of value for Sedin after the final game in Edmonton last season when he stepped onto the ice for about 10 seconds and left, just so the streak could continue. Henrik Sedin said that was not his decision, but he's in tonight playing a lot more than 10 seconds given all the ejections, and the streak is at 679 games.
Thank you, Scott. The only current streak longer is Jay Bouwmeester, the former Flame, and Henrik did not look good after that game in Anaheim, or excuse me, in Phoenix the other night, and it looked like he would definitely be out, but One thing you say about the Twins, you don't play that many games in a row without having some ability to endure some pain, Kelly.
Well, considering the style they play, that cycle game down low, and so defensemen get a shot every once in a while, a free shot, and so it's really remarkable how durable they've been.
And he's still playing with an injury on his left hand as well on top of that. So the streak continues in spite of that. The Canucks go to work in the offensive zone. Here's Jannik Hansen. On the backhand, looking to work it out front. Hansen turning, he'll put it behind the net to Richardson. Hamhuis pinching, took a hard hit from Stempniak, and that hurt. Hamhuis slow to get up, dropped his stick, puck comes back towards him, thrown out front by the Flames and almost given away to Hansen, but they get away with it. Here's Stempniak on the break. Stempniak right in, stopped by Luongo, and he hangs on for a face-off.
I've said many times, watch out when Lee Stempniak's on the ice. He can sneak up on you. He can lay you out, boy. He hits hard. He's not a big guy. See, Dan Hamhuis is really struggling. And here comes Stempniak, and when he gets ready to set and hit you, it's just like a truck. And that led to this scoring chance right here, where Stempniak, after the hit, just keep his feet moving. Gets a pretty good chance right there. I don't think that's a shot he wanted on Luongo. He pretty much just threw it right into the body.
Face-off win for the Flames. Weidman, Bolma saw Hamhuis' right arm get caught between the boards, and Stempniak on that hit. Bend in an awkward position. We'll keep an eye on that. Canucks already down 2 defensemen, with BX and Garrison getting tossed out with that game-opening line brawl.
Boy, and with 45 minutes left in this game, can you imagine if you're down to 3 defensemen?
Yeah. Edler throws a hit on Gagliardi as the Flames work it back in. 5 minutes left first period. No score, 9-6 shot advantage Calgary. As the pass comes back to Weidman. He gets a shot away with a screen in front. Luongo makes the save and hangs on, and has a word for Gagliardi, who was poking away at Roberto Luongo. Still scoreless on CBC.
Alan Lane, but his game lasted 2 seconds, his first ever NHL game. So we offer in his place Alex Burrows. Tough season it's been for him. A puck to the face in Carolina, December the 1st, broke his jaw. He'd only played 16 games after missing the first month of the season. The jaw was wired shut for only a week, during which time Burrows lost some but not a lot of weight. The quick recovery aided by the plate installed in surgery, and 6 weeks later Burrows is back wearing that full face shield that he says doctors won't allow him to go without until March.
Thank you, Scott. And the amazing thing about that puck to the face, it was Tanev trying to clear out of his own zone. Burrows finished that game with a broken jaw. Didn't realize they went to Nashville the next day, Kelly, until he woke up the next morning that something was wrong, and they went and saw a surgeon who fixed him up in Nashville, and he's been out since until tonight as a shot by Giordano goes over top of the Vancouver goal. Calgary's slowly taking an edge in play here, Kelly.
They've become the more focus of the two teams.
As Higgins works it across to Hansen, and he'll bring it out. Canucks to center. Hansen dumps it in. Kessler onto it. Now to Hansen, but Giordano broke up that play. Tanev keeps it in. Again, Giordano able to steal the puck. And gets it past Tanev out the center ice.
Well, this is how this game's going to attack some of these players. Dennis Weidman, because of the ejection of Schmid and Butler, he's almost at 10 minutes already, and there's only 4 minutes left.
Higgins throwing it out front. Hansen in traffic, can't corral it. Colburn takes it away, and big winger now is playing his 4th game on the wing since they made the move from center ice, works it out and dumps the puck in.
Yeah, interesting change. Talked about that with Bob Hartley a number of times during the course of the season, if they'd like to do that. He was a winger, keep in mind, at University of Denver.
Here comes Daniel Sedin out front to Booth, taking a shift with the Twins now. Weber over to the puck. With the puck behind the net to Daniel, now to Henrik. Back to Daniel. Out front to Henrik with a shot. Ramo makes his best save of the game so far. Gagliardi corrals the rebound and brings it out. Henrik knocked down in front of the net, slow to get up. Laboring as he tries to clear the zone with Daniel. Working it back to Edler.
He's not skating well right now.
Edler over the line with a shot. Hit the post. A wrister from the high slot. Clanked off the iron. Blocker side on Ramo, who made a spectacular save a moment ago and then got help from the goalie's best friend. 3 minutes to go in a wild first period in Vancouver as Edler dumps the puck in. Sestito on the ice. Him and McGrattan have served their penalties as the puck goes off Sestito and then off of TJ Brody and out of play.
Yeah, he looks not very well right now. So right in front of the net. Imagine, just gets a pretty good chance right here. What a great pass from his brother. And he's just even pushed over. It's not even a shot to the ribs. That's just pushed over, and he was really struggling to skate after that. That looks like that was deflected.
Yep. Here's a chance for Tanev with a shot off the rebound, and it hopped off the stick of Richardson before he could make the save on that, or the shot rather, on that first save by Ramo. The Canucks supply some pressure here, looking to open the scoring late in the first period. They dump it back in. Kari Ramo fires it around. Backlund will chip it out. Byron races to the puck, gets it to Colburn. Steps over the line, cuts out front, then the other way with a weak shot off the paddle along, but that may have been going wide anyway. Dan Hamhuis controls behind his net and leaves it for Brad Richardson. Now Jannik Hansen out to center ice. Dumps the puck in, on goal. Ramo with an awkward stop there.
Well, that was an awkward bounce.
Yes. Changed direction as it hopped right in front of the crease. Now the Flames ice the puck with 2:18 to go in the period. Face-off win for Kessler. Here's Edler at the line with a shot. That goes out front, chopped wide by Burrows. Had an open net, but a bouncing puck, and he couldn't get the shot on goal. And back come the Flames. Boma working on Edler. Can't make a move around Edler. Got by him, but Edler cut off the puck. Boma gets it back. Tied up by Kessler. Edler there as well. Yannick Weber winds up with it. And he'll lift it high and out to center ice. Bounces to Weidman, who has played a ton, as Kelly mentioned, in this first period, and that's probably going to continue.
Yep.
With the depleted benches now, with all the game misconducts, as Weidman dumps the puck in. Tanev behind the net. Staging gets the puck for Calgary. His pass picked off by Henrik, who's back on the ice. And he finds Daniel. Burrows out with the Twins now. Daniel down the wing. Stops on the half boards. Works it back to the line to Tanev. Tanev across to Hamhuis. Hamhuis tries a shot. That deflects. He gets it back. Dan Hamhuis making moves just inside the line. Flips it down the board. Stempniak knocked it down, but Henrik pokes it towards the corner. Now Daniel behind the net. Burrows goes out front. Henrik with a pass to Burrows. Can't shoot the puck. He was tied up by Brody. And here comes Stempniak to center ice. Staging over the line down the wing. Up front to Stempniak. Poked it on goal. Kicked away by Luongo out of the reach of Brody. Final minute of play in the first. TJ Brody to the puck on the near boards. Backhands it to the corner where it's picked up by Stagin. Matt Stagin skates it back to the line. Back to the corner now for Gagliardi. Works it to the line, feeds it along the board, Stempniak. Hard pass, Gagliardi cut it off. I think that was intended for Giordano. And the Canucks are able to clear as Burrows, end of a shift, puts the puck into the zone and turns towards the bench. And heads off. 30 seconds left. Check the calendar. Is this 1977 or 2014 with the way this game has gone, Kelly? It's been a rough one from the opening faceoff. Sestito, nice tip pass to Richardson over the line with a shot deflects off the stick of Weidman. Sestito with a nifty play to set up that rush. Weber out front, boot shot it wide with an open net. Wraparound attempt. Ramo got the leg across to make the save as the horn sounds. And the Canucks coming close in the dying seconds of the period, Kelly, to open the scoring.
Plain old bad luck on the missed chance by Alex Burrows. As you said, looking for his first goal of the season. What a great face-off win by Kessler right there. Back to the point, just loft the puck at the net. There's Burrows. I mean, he's got to stick with it because those are going to go in. They always have for him. Eventually, that's going to turn. It was a rolling puck. And then David Booth, this is one that he's got to hit the net. There's no question. You get a chance like that, the goalie's down and out, not able to react. You've got to bury that one.
So we are scoreless. John Tortorella has gone over to the Calgary Flames hallway outside their room. That's the Canucks coach outside the Calgary room. There's Brian McGrattan trying to push him aside with some of the Calgary staff.
Okay, he's got to calm down.
Yep. Shane O'Brien in the doorway with his gear off. This is outside the Calgary Flames dressing room.
There goes Clint Malarchuk, the goalie coach for the Flames.
Burrows came over to help out his coach as well. And this is not over yet, Kelly. Again, this all started with the opening faceoff of this game when Calgary started their fourth line and the Canucks responded with theirs, and we had a full line brawl.
There's Glenn Gullickson. You can't see him now. He was in the screen, the assistant coach for Vancouver, trying to get John Tortorella out of there.
It's just off camera now, as you mentioned, and it looks like finally cooler heads have prevailed. Well, we have had everything in the first 20 minutes of this one, except for a goal. Scoreless in Vancouver. Canucks and the Flames on Hockey Night in Canada. A line brawl to start the game would cool things down, put to rest throughout that first period. You saw Shane O'Brien and Zach Kassian in the penalty box talking. John Tortorella's on the bench despite storming towards the Calgary room at the end of that first period. And we continue in a scoreless game. Second period underway. Stempniak tries a shot that deflects off hand use wide. This has been a wild night in Vancouver.
First intermission.
Here come the Twins over the line now. Daniel down the wing. The puck rolled off his stick, and he didn't realize it went to pull the trigger on a shot, and it wound up trickling into the corners. In behind the play. No, they're going to rule the net out. The net's popped off the mooring, so we'll get a face-off to the left of Kari Ramo. No score, Kelly. Canucks had a couple of chances late in that period. Open nets for Booth and Burrows, and they both missed.
The Burrows one you can understand because the puck is rolling and so on, but David Booth, he's got to bury that. That's to be a game changer. When goals are hard to come by, when you get a chance like that, got to make sure it's in the back of the net.
Backlund or make that staging against Kessler on the draw, who wins it for Vancouver. Higgins' shot never got through, and Weidman's there with the puck, gave it away to Hansen behind the net. Jannik Hansen on the left wing boards to the line of Weber. Weber shoots wide intentionally. Higgins gets to the puck behind the goal. Bumped by Weidman. Higgins makes a play to Hansen. Over to Weber. Weber, shot deflects, bounces into the circle. Hansen picks it up, works it down low. Threw it out front. That pass blocked by Brody. Stick tied up by Hansen. Stajan comes in to help. Kessler steals the puck. Here's Hansen to the line to Weber for a one-timer, blocked, and a good play by Boma, but he felt that. As the Flames are able to break out, and Boma's got to go to the bench. Canucks almost took advantage of that, but Stajan will bring it back the other way instead for Calgary. Throws it out front, pass blocked by Weber. Stajan back to the puck in the corner. Works it behind the Vancouver goal. Sharp angle, bank pass off Luongo's pad. Now it trickles back to the Canucks goalie. And he covers up, but a holding penalty coming up, and it looks like the Flames will go back on the power play for the third time tonight.
Pretty good scoring chance right there by the Flames right in front. So Ryan Kessler had bad body position.
As we throw things down to Scott Oake. Scott.
Rick, what a start to the first period, what a finish. The question the Flames will be asked post-game is why did they start the Jones, McGrattan, Boma line? And I asked Jacques Cloutier between periods. His answer was it was to bring some life, some energy to the Flames game. He noted the line scored a goal late and the Flames lost to Winnipeg this week, so maybe they were hoping for a carryover, but nonetheless the possibility of the game starting the way it did was likely with all those players on the ice.
And now they open the scoring, Scott, on the power play right off the faceoff. Mark Giordano goes upstairs on Luongo. And an early second period goal puts Calgary on top 1-0.
Giordano is telling me this morning that both defensively and offensively, he likes to be a little bit more assertive this year. And you're going to see an example of this. Waiting, there's a puck comes free, and he just slot 5 feet away from Luongo, and view from the LASIK MD net cam. See, not much Luongo can do on that one.
And a Calgary power play goal makes it 1-0. Giordano's 7th of the season. Stempniak gets the assist at the 1:37 mark in the second period. Sestito puts it behind the net. Richardson. Watched by Shane O'Brien. Now Sestito out front. Booth tied up, couldn't get a shot away as Brody able to check David Booth, and now the Flames break back. Byron left wing. Chips and chases. Tanev puts the puck to Hamhuis. Won't be able to get it out. Kept onside by Weidman. Shot blocked by Booth, who drops a stick, but Sestito able to make a play. Over to Richardson, who lifts it high into the zone as the Canucks start a change. Dennis Weidman plays it across in front of his own net over to Shane O'Brien. His pass to Monahan, tipped to Colburn, back to Monahan over the line. Monahan down the wing. Sharp angle shot up high in Luongo, makes a shoulder save. Burrows corrals the rebound. Feeds it across to Edler. He'll bring it out. Boma checks him. You see Boma back out there after he blocked that shot. Canucks feed it ahead though. Daniel carries down the left wing over the line. Now to Burrows with a tip. That trickles through the crease into the corner. Henrik puts it behind the net. Daniel watched by Weidman. Works the puck to Henrik along the boards with a shot. That deflects and then blocked by Giordano, who kicks it ahead, and out come the Flames. Gagliardi through center ice. Chips it around Edler. Heads into the forecheck. Now staging down low. Checked by Edler, who's able to poke it away. Canucks defenseman with control will feed it ahead to Henrik Sedin. Edler and the Twins will both represent Sweden at the Olympics in Sochi coming up. Long shot in, stopped by Ramo, and the puck is cleared down the ice, and this will be icing on Calgary.
It's time for the Captain Morgan Icebreaker. Why not try a Captain and Cola? Captain Morgan, the official rum sponsor of the NHL.
Vancouver's going to get back into this, Rick. They've got to stop taking those needless penalties. That last one by Kessler, there's no reason for that, even though he had lost body position. But still, you wrap your arms around somebody, you're going to get called.
Tanev fires it across to Hamhuis, tries a shot. That bounces off Gagliardi. Kassian knocks it down in the corner. Zach Kassian, checked by Stajan. Kassian plays it behind the net. Brody cut it off. Kessler checks Brody, but he gets back onto the puck, and the Flames defenseman makes a nice play. Hoodler got it out to Gagliardi. Cross-ice pass didn't get through, and here come the Canucks. Kassian down the wing. Kessler's out front. There's the pass. Tipped on goal. He scores! Ryan Kessler, just 2 goals his last 17 games. Ties it up for Vancouver.
I'd say that's the way you take care of a bad penalty, isn't it? Your next shift out there, you try and create something, go hard, move his legs, go to the net, turnover right there, center ice, and then it's at that point just drive to the net. Kassian spots him, and Kessler, perfect target. There it is, there's the target. Get my stick. Ramo unsure where that deflection's gonna go.
Kessler's 18th of the year from Kassian and Higgins. 2 minutes, 13 seconds after Calgary to open the scoring. We're tied at 1. Alex Edler fires one in on goal. Ramos steers that to the corner to Weidman. Nice pass to Backlund. He'll bring it out ahead to Hoodler at center. Flames leading scorer chips it in. Edler to it for Vancouver. Up the near boards. Jannik Hansen will bring it out. Hansen to center ice. Now to Richardson over the line with speed, trying to get around Weidman. Forced behind the net. Richardson plays it out front. Weidman got his skate in the way and knocked it wide of the goal as Ramo was scrambling back to his feet. Shane O'Brien will pick it up. Clears the zone. It's chopped in by Stempniak. Alex Edler back. Now to Weber. Weber falls as he's pressured by Backlund. Now Colborne comes in to help. Backlund in the corner. Threw it out front. That's blocked by Edler. Puck winds up going back to Weber in the corner.
That was a pretty dangerous block, wasn't it? That could have easily ended up back in the Vancouver net.
5 minutes gone, second period. Shots 15-12, Calgary in a 1-1 game. Colborne works it over the line. Swings wide to the right, watched by Henrik. Big Joel Colborne tries to throw it out front. That bounces back to the right point to Brody. TJ Brody shovels it to the corner. Hamhuis picks it off there, and the Canucks will clear it out to center ice. Giordano with the Calgary goal. Gets the return pass in his own zone. Ahead to Colborne. Lost it, but following up is Monahan. Sean Monahan over the line. Got into traffic there and had the puck knocked off his stick as he fell down. Daniel trying to clear it out. Colborne knocked it down, but Daniel follows up and brings the puck to center ice. Ahead to Henrik Sedin over the line. Cross-ice pass to Hamhuis, intercepted. And it's brought back the other way by Weidman as the Flames start a change. Long shot goes high and wide. Gagliardi onto it. Bowman out. Nice move around Henrik. Trying to get to the front of the goal. Ran into Weber. Puck comes back to the line. Shane O'Brien gets it there with a shot. That's deflected wide, and it winds up going out of play.
Dennis Weidman has played over 15 minutes now, and we're not into the halfway point. Dangerous play right here. Richardson just throws it to the front, and Ramo's not back yet, and it hits skate of Weidman. Both teams got a good break there. 16-15 for Weidman already. That's a ridiculous amount. So he's, in all likelihood, if he doesn't leave through injury or something, he's going to be 35 minutes.
Yeah, 36
north of
minutes.
that. Yeah.
Assuming no overtime, and well, we've seen just about everything else tonight, so OT may wind up happening in this one.
So at this point, with both teams down to 4 defense, you have to assume that neither of those defensemen can get in a fight. Can't go down to 3.
And there appears to be some issue with the ice in the Vancouver goal crease. So another delay here. So we approach the 6-minute mark of the second period. If you're just joining us, the game started with a line brawl. The first period ended with John Tortorella going into the hallway to the Calgary room. He was furious with Bob Hartley right off the opening faceoff. That continued into the break.
Well, Clint Malarchuk was pretty mad, I'd say myself.
Flames
I know
goaltender
Clint
coach.
too. We grew up together in Elmwood, in a community in Edmonton, and I've seen that spirit from him before. Let's just say that.
Well, it's all you old goalies. You're all temperamental, aren't you? Hotheads.
No, you call it passionate.
Is that what it is?
Oh yeah, I like to say I had a temper when I played. Pretty calm and relaxed now, right, Rick?
Now, goalie fights, we've seen those historically too. How about you in your career?
Myself and John Van Beesbrook, and unfortunately, I was in Madison Square Gardens, and we were going to go out for dinner. We shared the same lawyer, Lloyd Friedland. We were going to go out for dinner after the game, and unfortunately, we had a brawl, and so there was no dinner after the game.
You do okay?
Did okay.
Yeah.
You can see it on YouTube. My kids asked me about it once.
I'd say winner should have bought dinner. That's, just the fair thing to do. Back underway, 6 minutes into the second period. Here's Zach Kassian to set up the Kessler goal. Works it down the wing with a shot. Ramos save. Bouncing rebound comes to Hoodler. He'll flip it out. Alex Edler. Now Weber. Hard pass up the left wing to Kassian. Off his skate. Canucks regroup in the neutral zone. Edler to Kessler now. Chips and chases. Bumps O'Brien behind the net. O'Brien falls. Higgins comes in to help. Higgins trying to work it out front. Plays the puck instead to Kassian. Sharp angle shot. That's blocked by Weidman, who winds up carrying to center. Now to Stempniak. Lost it at the line. Weber poked it ahead. Backlund gets it back for Calgary. Fires the puck in. Then gets bumped by Kessler in front of the Flames bench. They're quickly separated as Alex Edler goes back to the puck. Weber's pass deflects ahead to Tom Sestito just off the bench for Vancouver. He backhands it deep. Ramo chips it around to Brody. Pressured by Booth. Flames will break out. Giordano leads the way. The Flames captain left wing center over the line. 3 wide as he tries a long shot from a sharp angle. Luongo steers that away from everybody, and Hansen will chip it ahead to Booth. David Booth working on Brody. Booth turns. Brody ties him up. Booth fires it behind the net. Sestito can't knock it down. Giordano gets over to it. Gagliardi feeds it out to Boma. He gets hit by Booth. Here comes Stajan over the line. Boma stayed on his feet, but the Canucks take the puck away. Jannik Hansen out to Booth. In on the right side with a long shot that never got through into the skates of O'Brien. Canucks changing. Flames trying to take advantage, but Gagliardi steps in offside. 7.5 minutes gone. Second period. Gagliardi for the Flames, Kessler for the Canucks. 1-1 on Scotiabank Hockey Day in Canada.
Stito, when you take on his 13-year-old sister Victoria, after her brother played 1 second in LA on Monday, took 27 minutes in penalties, Keith Olbermann of ESPN named Sestito the worst person in the sports world, calling him a boxing hobo on skates. Tom's sister Victoria, who's a straight-A student and very eloquent, tweeted, "The Sestito household enjoys your arrogant left-wing blurbs and looking forward to your next firings." Pretty good for a 13-year-old. Victoria has been interviewed by the media. She has quadrupled her number of followers on Twitter. So the message here is, don't cross Tom's sister.
Yes.
That was clever, wasn't it? I love that.
I do. I don't think I knew what a left-wing blurb was when I was 13 years old.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah. Toughness runs in the family. Tortorella telling us today Tom Sestito's been their most improved player this year.
He's got a good set of hands.
He
I've
does.
been really impressed all year.
You can tell he's got some hockey sense, too. He scored 42 goals in his final year at junior with Plymouth. And you don't do that if you don't have a clue what's going on out there and have a decent set of hands.
That's right.
Alex Burrows with a puck, feeds it across, and here comes Edler out to center ice. Dumps the puck in, on goal. Ramos scoops that up, and he'll hang on.
So Tom Sestito, of course, known more for the fisticuffs and so on. And let's take a look where he stands in league PIMs, and right at the very top. But again, if you look at that, but you don't really watch him, you wouldn't know, as you said, Rick, that he's a pretty decent player and getting better.
Yeah, 15 fights now with the fight he had with McGrath. That also leads the NHL. You know, John Tortorella, who saw him last year when he was with the Rangers and Cecito was still with the Flyers, said he was playing like a clown.
Yeah.
And he told him that this year with Vancouver, and he's really been impressed with his ability to improve as a hockey player. He's obviously a guy who knows his role, but...
Really? John was honest with one of his players?
Oh, there's a first time for everything. Chris Higgins back for the puck in his own zone. Kessler will clear. I mentioned earlier it was Giordano who scored the goal. I said Gagliardi by mistake, but Mark Giordano for the Flames opened the scoring on the power play at the 1:37 mark of the second period. Kessler answered just over 2 minutes later, and that's where we sit. Tied at 1 as we approach the midway mark of this hockey game. Boma, Colborne now. Turns. Hamhuis watches Colborne in the corner, knocks the puck free to Kassian. He'll make a play to Kessler, and Kessler brings it out. Ahead to Higgins. Bobbled the puck at the line, gets it back. Works it down the right side to the corner. Giordano's there to find Byron. Flames turn it up ice. Monahan through center. Byron goes to the goal, but he stepped in early, offside on Calgary.
This is a pretty good game for the Calgary Flames in the sense that it hasn't been going well the last couple, especially at home on Thursday. They just had nothing going on. Hartley was talking this morning about they just have to get back to basics. And lately, their defensive game has been slipping a little bit, but seen a lot of progress in tonight's game. It's given up 15 Vancouver Canucks shots, but not a lot of quality ones. So small steps in the right direction again, Rick.
And you got to work, on the little things that you can control. I mean, they've got to improve their talent, obviously.
For
sure. But you can teach your guys how to work hard, and that's going to bode well down the road when the Flames do improve their level of talent.
Yep.
The guys who are still here will have that instilled in them, and Bob Hartley, I think, has done a great job with that.
And the rest of his coaching staff, excellent.
Here comes Stempniak over the line to the circle with a shot. That goes off Edler into the corner. And Tom Sestito will take control and work it out with Booth. Sestito dumps the puck in. Booth trying to get after it. Bumped by Giordano as Ramos steps out of the goal to play it. To Backlund. He's hit by Hansen, but makes a play to Stempniak ahead for Hudler trying to break away. Just missed the pass. Yuri Hudler after it, waiting for support now as he's watched closely by Chris Tanev. Hudler's pass picked off by Hansen. And he'll carry it through center on the right side to Daniel Sedin over the line. Out front to Booth with a chance. It deflects wide as Weidman got in the way of that. Played back out front. Backlund able to take it away to find Colborne. Big winger brings it out. Lost the puck. Hansen will play it back to his own end past the midway mark of the second period of play. 1-1 hockey game. Dan Hamhuis quickly ahead to Richardson just off the bench. Couldn't handle the pass. Shane O'Brien takes control. Puts it off the glass and out. Bounces back to O'Brien. Cross to Weidman. Up to Colborne who tips it in. Luongo out of the goal to stop it and decides to play it to the corner. Flipped it away from Byron. Kind of fooled Hamhuis coming back. Canucks get away with it. Tanev's pass deflects out to center ice. TJ Gagliardi's back there. Over to Mark Giordano. Quickly up to Brian McGrattan. Right wing center, long slapper wide of the goal. Chris Tanev goes to it. Works the puck ahead. Referee got in the way of Daniel Sedin. That allows the Flames to keep the play alive. Boma trying to work it out front. Gets away from Tanev with a shot. Nice stop by Luongo. Good play by Boma to get his shot away.
Excellent effort. Good shift by McGrattan, too.
Brad Richardson fires the puck in. Both teams start a change. Richardson stays in on the forecheck. Giordano takes control and he'll settle things down. Hartley had great things to say about Giordano as a captain. Said he's got a very similar personality to Joe Sakic, which is high praise.
What a compliment that is.
Kassian wheels down the wing. Drop pass to Kessler. Into the corner looking for Kassian. Brody cut it off. Ahead to Stajan. He can't take the pass. Higgins finds Kessler. He's checked by Brody. And Stajan's able to feed it to Boma, and three Flames break through center. Gagliardi over the line, slides the puck to the Canucks goal. Luongo will cover up with the side of the net and hang on for a whistle. With 8:08 to go in the second period, Canucks and the Flames tied at 1 on CBC.
Well, we're looking forward to after hours tonight. The Vancouver Thunderbirds Adams C5 team will be our live audience on the ice here at Rogers Arena. They'll have questions for our guest Dan Hamhuis of the Canucks, who's heading for a 35-minute game. Lots to talk to him about, including the start to tonight's game, his selection to the Olympic team, and his attachment to his hometown of Smithers, because after all, the theme of Scotiabank Hockey Day in Canada is community. Rick.
Thank you, Scott. Hamhuis, a former Prince George Cougar, and we talked about Weidman's ice time. Hamhuis, 18 and a half minutes already tonight as well, Kelly.
And just so efficient in everything he does, and especially taking that big hit from Lee Stepniak.
And was thrilled when he got the word that he was going to be going to Sochi to represent Canada as Kassian gets a chance. Works the puck to Kessler with a shot. Ramo makes the save. Ryan Kessler back to Tanev. Over to Hamhuis. Kessler fakes. Higgins checked. Good stick there by Backlund. Higgins gets the puck back. Kicks it down low for Kassian. Shane O'Brien on to Kassian. Works it up the boards on the backhand. Now to Tanev at the point. Across for Hamhuis. Broken up by Stempniak. Luongo's going to come out and play it before Stempniak can catch up. Tanev in the corner. Quick up to Higgins. He'll go across to Kessler through center ice. Hamhuis joins the rush. Backlund breaks it up. Colborne turns it the other way for Calgary. Joe Colborne chips it in, gets after it himself. Kessler watching him in the corner. Played out front to Monahan. Now to Giordano at the line with a shot. Luongo with a save through traffic. Alex Burrows gets the puck and he'll bring it out to center ice. Burrows pressured by Byron and knocks him down with a good hit along the boards. Giordano will bank it behind the net to the corner for Brody. Back to Giordano, but in his skates, Burrows right onto him. Flames wind up with the puck. Chipped ahead. Weber will keep it in. Yannick Weber down the boards. Burrows trying to help out. Byron winds up with a puck and he'll retreat behind his own net with 6.5 to go in the second period. Paul Byron to center. 5'7" over the line of Monahan. Throws it out front for Colborne. He couldn't reach the pass behind him. Puts it behind the net. Yannick Weber comes over to it. He'll slide it ahead for Henrik Sedin. Canucks captain battered and bruised, but playing in his 679th consecutive game. Boma back the other way. He'll throw it out front. That pass broken up. Edler ties up Boma, who's had a strong game for the Flames. Stajan now trying to work it out front. On the backhand, feeds it to the point. O'Brien with a one-timer, whistled that wide. David Booth gets the loose puck and turns up ice. Feeds it to Henrik. In his skates, loose at the line. Picked up by Stajan. Gagliardi with him. Hustling back is Booth to poke it off the stick of Stajan, who takes down Edler behind the net. Booth winds up with a loose puck and he'll look ahead as he wheels towards the line. Knocked away from him. The Canucks getting sloppy as they try to carry the puck out of their own zone, Kelly.
Too many turnovers right now.
Michael Backlund to it. Hit by Booth in the corner. Gets it behind the net. Hoodler. Brody. Slap shot wide. Bounces to Hoodler. Right circle. Out front. Backlund. Hot pass. Couldn't knock it down. The Canucks take it away and Hansen will work it out. And again, good hustle by Backlund to break up that rush. And now Booth falls down and slides in offside with 5:19 to go in the second period in a 1-1 game. The Canucks and the Flames in Vancouver on Scotiabank Hockey Day in Canada. One game, the Canucks and the Flames in Calgary in the second period. And Kelly, after that first opening face-off line brawl, and both teams had two defensemen tossed out of the game. They're playing basically the entire game with four blue liners, and we're starting to see some mistakes with the ice time that these guys are having a log here.
Absolutely. A few mental mistakes here. Here's Weidman with the giveaway. Leads to that chance. Kessler's going to get a good chance right there, and then Hamhuis jumps into the play. That's what you have to be careful of when you're tired now, that if you are going to try and go on the offensive, that there's not a turnover, because it's awfully tough to get back into your own zone.
Dennis Weidman on pace for a career high in minutes. His previous career high is 34. He's already played 21 minutes tonight. And we still have 5 minutes left in the second period.
Wow.
Shots are 18-16 in favor of Calgary in a 1-1 game as Michael Backlund works the puck through center to Stempniak, who fired around. Backlund to it in the corner. Hamhuis has logged almost as much ice time tonight as Weidman has. Here's Hoodler. Out front for Stempniak. Kessler got a stick in the way to tip it away and out to the neutral zone. Shane O'Brien with control. Retreats into his own end. Fires the puck ahead, and the Flames tip it in and change as Chris Tanev takes a pass from Dan Hamhuis. Tanev, product of the Rochester Institute of Technology, feeds it ahead. Zach Kassian will fire it across, but that is icing on Vancouver. When the finance minister is caught in a compromising situation, Angus is suddenly a contender. Watch it all new, the best laid plans, Monday night at 9 on CBC TV.
Saw a good example of that last shift, how Hamhuis was conserving his energy. Very smart, knowing that with 4:21 here left in the second and a full third period left, you've got to really choose your spots wisely.
Well, plus after hours. He's got a busy night ahead.
I'm sure he's thinking a lot about after hours right about now.
You and Oki going to work him over.
Which happens to be my favorite week of the year in the hockey season. Hockey Day in Canada, which led up to it all week long in Lloydminster. They did a fantastic job there, and I must say I was really moved by Elliot Friedman's piece about Ace Bailey from Lloydminster, and lost him in 9/11.
Yep, it is a great day. Dan Hammond, the Hockey Day, Scotiabank Hockey Day in Canada, always a great day.
Yep.
I agree with you on that one as Burrows works the puck in. Giordano knocked it down. Here's Tanev back at the line. Hard pass to Daniel Sedin. Drops it off for Richardson. The Burrows trying to drive through. Can't. He's cut off by Stage, and Richardson flips it out front. Puck bouncing around like a racquetball out there, and finally Boma comes away with it. 3.5 to go in the second. Alex Edler steals and then gave it back to Stajan at his own line. Stajan trying to work it out front. Throws a pass towards McGrattan, but it's picked off by Richardson. He finds Daniel Sedin, left wing center. Burrows joins him on the rush. Takes the pass on the right side. Throws it back over. Here's Richardson with a shot. Hit the post. Beat Ramo glove side. Couldn't beat the goal post. Ramo makes the save on a long shot through traffic, and Stajan corrals the rebound. He's tied at 1. Weidman over the line. Feeds it across. Hoodler just off the bench. Drops it off to Stempniak with a shot. Luongo now made the save. That changed direction right in front of the Vancouver goalie. Hoodler keeps the play alive. Shane O'Brien. Back to Hoodler. Back to O'Brien. Now Stajan. O'Brien. Edler's lost his stick. Here's Weidman. One-timer deflected off traffic before that got through. And now Yannick Weber's lost his stick. Edler has Burrow's stick. Canucks are down 2 sticks on this shift. Both defensemen, although, as mentioned, Edler has taken a forward stick. Alex Burrow's playing without one right now. So the Flames apply some pressure, and finally Yannick Hansen able to get the puck out. Makes a good move around a check and works it through center ice. Long shot in, blockered away by Ramo. Tom Sestito to it. Feeds the puck to the near side of Yannick Hansen. To the point to Tanev. He'll shoot. Didn't get it through. Off the skate of Weidman. And out to center ice. Here's Sestito in on the right side. Ahead to Booth. David Booth. Round behind the net. Passes to the point to Hamhuis. He'll flip it deep for Kessler. Now Tanev races down the boards. Watched by Gagliardi. Sestito can't reach the pass. Colborne hustles over to it. Sestito peels off to go to the bench. And Shane O'Brien. Booth onto him. O'Brien feeds it across. Dennis Weidman, I think, might have played this entire second period. Feeds it up the left side to Backlund, who brings it in with a shot. Glove saved by Luongo. With a minute and a half to go in the period, Luongo keeps this game tied at 1.
Vancouver Canucks almost took the lead late in this period. Brad Richardson with an excellent chance right here. I'm not sure Ramos saw this. Goes right by McGrattan, and that's why Ramo is late in picking that one up, but just hits the goalpost there. But it's pretty clear right now, Rick, that the forwards on both teams are going to have to really come down low and help their defensemen, because all the defensemen left in this game are showing lots of signs of fatigue.
Monahan tries a shot off the draw from the boards. That goes wide. The puck bounces back to the line and out to center ice. Fired in by Giordano. Edler to Weber. Monahan on the forecheck almost forces a turnover, but Canucks will get it out. Hard pass by Higgins, misses Cassian, and this will be icing on Vancouver.
So they're going to have lots of discussions on the bench about helping out the D, making good, safe plays, make sure you're close to them so they can make a quick outlet pass, not a dangerous pass. Be careful of turnovers and just make sure that you're there for your friend, because he's dying right now.
You got a feeling that third period could be a little wide open as mistakes are made and odd man rushes go back the other way. Face off to the right of Luongo. Flames win the draw. O'Brien will put it down low for Hoodler. Checked by Edler. Weber's dropped his stick again. I don't think it's broken. He gets it back, but the Flames have the puck. Stempniak with a shot for the top of the circle. That deflects wide. Final play, minute of play in the second. Michael Backlund had his 3-game goal streak ended last game against Winnipeg, but he's been playing very well. Gets it around to Hoodler. Now to Weidman. Fakes. Hoodler. In front to Stepniak with a shot. Luongo comes across and makes a right pad save. Backdoor chance. Luongo quickly able to stop that with that right leg as Kessler brings the puck back the other way. Trying to do it by himself. Checked by O'Brien. The puck winds up on the near boards with 23 seconds to go in the period. Zach Kassian tied up by Weidman. Higgins comes in to help out in the corner. Boma winds up with the puck and circles his net. Out the other side. That's Boma to center ice. Gets away from Richardson. Swings wide with a shot. Pad save Luongo. And he covers up with 7.1 to go.
The leading point getter for the Calgary Flames, Yuri Hoodler, just shows great anticipation and sight right here, spotting Lee Stepniak, and Stepniak gets an excellent chance, but Luongo so deep in his net, reading the play extremely well. As Kevin Week said, if you're a fan of the Canadian Olympic team with the goaltending that Carey Price and Roberto Luongo are providing, pretty good hands.
Stoned Stepniak for the second time tonight. Stopped him on a breakaway in the first period as well with the glove. Stajan trying to feed a pass out front. Didn't get it there as the horn sounds, and the second period comes to an end with a little more pushing and shoving.
Well, that's a surprise. Matt Stajan getting at it. So I don't think we're going to see much more than that.
Well, we've got some goals. We've had everything else. Now we got to score. Canucks and the Flames tied at 1 in Vancouver on CBC.
Canucks and Flames tied at 1 to start the third with all the ejections, in particular 2 defensemen on each side. Ice times adding up the way we thought they would. 3 Flames defensemen, Giordano, Weidman, and Brody, all already over 20 minutes. Weidman leads everybody with 24. Dan Hamhuis with almost 23 minutes through 2 periods. He'll need oxygen when he joins us on After Hours. And by the way, coincidental minors at the end of the second period. Richardson and Stajan are in the box for roughing. Rick.
Thank you, Scott. And when this game ends, Dan Hamhuis will have a couple minutes to catch his breath, and they'll be joining Kelly and Scott on After Hours. Should be an interesting one.
He's not going to look tired, will he?
He's approaching career highs too in ice time. His career high was earlier this season. When Edler was hurt, Dan Hamhuis played a ton. He played 32 and a half minutes, and I would expect he's going to surpass that tonight.
After a slow start to the season, he's been, I'd say, spectacular for the last 35 games or so. Do you agree?
He has. He's had the luck of Job in the last couple, though. He had 3 goals bounced in off him in those games against Anaheim and Phoenix. And he's out there now with the puck in his own zone. Lead pass, left wing. Daniel Sedin will turn up ice. We start this period 4-on-4 with Richardson and Stajan in the penalty box. Here's Hamhuis. Cross for Tanev. He retreats. Giordano, who's got the Calgary goal, will bring it out. Mark Giordano over the line with a long wrister wide. Stepniak to it. Had a couple of great chances in this game, but has been stoned by Luongo, and Daniel steals the puck and gets it to Kessler at center ice. Broken up at the line by Monahan. Stepniak finds Weidman. Brings it in with a long shot. Deflects off the stick of Edler wide of the goal. He'll pick it up and work it behind the net. Broke his stick, though. Has to drop it. Kessler winds up with the puck. Chipped it ahead, but Hoodler knocked it down and found Weidman. Gets away from Weber. Weidman taken down. Penalty coming up. Yannick Weber touches the puck, and he'll be headed to the box as the Flames, who already have a power play goal in this game, will go back on the man advantage.
Dennis Weidman with a real strong move to the net. Forceful, and Weber in bad body position right there, and so he's got to reach in and trips Dennis Weidman right there, but that's a pretty good play by Weidman after all the ice time to take the initiative to drive to the net and try and get that opportunity.
All started when Edler broke his stick, probably on the shot block, and then last few minutes of the second period and early in the third, Canucks have had issues with defensemen not having a stick, and that led to the scramble and ultimately the penalty. And the Flames power play, which is 1 for 3, gets its 4th opportunity tonight, and it'll be a 4-on-3, at least for the next 56 seconds. Face-off win for Burrows. Puck to the line. Weidman, good job to keep it onside. Backlund leaves the puck for Giordano. Weidman, top of the circle. Back to Giordano. Right circle, Hoodler. Patience. Feeds it back to the line to Giordano, over to Hoodler, back to Giordano to Weidman. Other side with a shot. That's blocked by Burrows, who sprawls and has it deflect off him and out of play.
Well, a minute 30 or so into the third period, and there's no Henrik Sedin for the Canucks. So clearly he was banged up coming into this one, and that push in the second period that put him in some distress, and we haven't seen him back. He played a little bit more in the second, but not out here for the third. So losing another body like that's going to be awfully difficult.
That was a result of a stick to the ribs courtesy of Martin Hanzal in Phoenix last game, and many suspected Henrik wouldn't play tonight. He started the game and it really didn't get hit that hard, just kind of fell on the ice. And anybody who's ever had a rib injury, if that's indeed what it is, the Canucks have not confirmed, knows how painful they can be. Here's Stempniak working the puck in. Hoodler now. Still a 4-on-3 for 14 more seconds. Stempniak, Hoodler. Stempniak, Hoodler. Stempniak, one-timer. Luongo makes the save. Rebound goes back to Stempniak. Watched by Tanev in the corner. Puck goes to Hamhuis behind the net. Penalty to Stajan and Richardson are over, so now it's a 5-on-4 power play. A minute left in it. Here's Stempniak working the puck out front of the goal, and that's blocked by Hamhuis as Tanev's able to fire the puck down the ice. Mark Giordano goes back to it. Drop pass at the line, but Hoodler had moved over further than Giordano suspected. That didn't work. Hoodler will try a drop pass. That almost failed, but Weidman able to pick it up, and he'll feed it ahead to Hoodler. Jiri Hoodler. Surprise non-selection for the Czech team for the Olympics.
I think the entire hockey world was shocked by that, and frankly, that's just not right. He's too good a player to be left off that team.
Leading scorer on this team, 39 points. He's also a plus player on a team that has a bunch of minuses. I think we were all a little surprised by that as the Flames have trouble breaking out of their own zone. That'll do it for the power play. Weber set to step back on the box, just one shot on goal. As the Canucks dump it in, Calgary's 1 for 4 with a man advantage in a 1-1 game, early third period here in Vancouver. Started with a line brawl. Kind of set the tone for this one. A lot of room on those benches. Here's Byron working the puck in. Edler took it away. Monahan steals it back. Knocked down by Tanev, and Hansen will race over to it in the other corner. Monahan back on his feet. Edler will flip it ahead to Booth, and he'll bring it out. David Booth. Richardson tips it into Jannik Hansen, trying to catch up to it. O'Brien swats it away from him. Booth behind the net. Can't get the puck. O'Brien falls, sitting down, able to pull it back under his body. Now Hansen along the boards. He's checked, and O'Brien will chip it ahead, and Monahan finds Gagliardi right wing center. Flames changing. Gagliardi dumps it in. He'll hit it in the forecheck. Hassling Tanev. Puck goes to the corner to Boma. Out front for Stajan. That pass deflects. Backhand scores. Beautiful shot by Stajan on the first pass deflecting. He spun around and put it past Luongo, and the Flames take a 2-1 lead.
Lance Boma is having a heck of a game. In fact, I know he's taken great strides in the last little while, but this might be his most impressive NHL game. Gagliardi starts it with an excellent forecheck. Boma spots Stajan in front, get a bit of a break right there, and Stajan just turns, and I think that hits Tanev's stick on the way. So they're pretty sure that definitely rises a couple of feet after Tanev tries to tip that one wide. And there it is, and that's why it fools Luongo.
Up over the shoulder, another one in off a Canucks defenseman. Matt Stajan gets his 7th goal of the season, gives Calgary a 2-1 lead. And you're right about Lance Boma. He's been really good tonight.
Holy cow. Taking charge, he's assertive, doing everything strong, and skating extremely well.
Former Vancouver Giant playing in the city where he played his junior hockey, maybe inspired a tad. Lance Boma gets the only assist on that goal by Stajan at the 4:01 mark. And Stajan snapping a 16-game goalless drought and a 12-game pointless drought with that goal.
He's been such a good leader for this team, though. You know, it hadn't gone well early for Stajan when he first came to Calgary, but I'm very impressed with his work in the last year and a half. Shortened lockout year last year, and this year he's been just so good and so responsible defensively, and
So with no Henrik Sedin, Kessler out with Daniel and Burrows, and here's Hamhuis keeping the play alive with a pass out front to Burrows. He couldn't get a stick on it. Kessler races over to it. Backlund winds up with the puck. Daniel pressures. Stempniak watched by Hamhuis. Giordano in to help out. Puck played past Kessler and out. Hoodler trying to catch up to it, but Tanev beats him to the puck at the Vancouver line. Approaching the 5-minute mark of this third period of play. Flames with their second one-goal lead in this game. Kessler trying to answer back. He did that after the first Calgary goal just over 2 minutes later. Now he heads to the bench as O'Brien takes control in his own zone. Weidman. O'Brien. Colborne tips it in on Luongo. He'll leave it for Edler. Monahan watches him. Colborne steals. Puts it behind the net. Yannick Weber goes back to it. Round to Kassian. Brings it out right side with Higgins joining him on the rush. Kassian carries in. Nice pass to Edler. Edler with a shot. That goes off O'Brien's stick and out of play. As we take a look at the Calgary goal that makes it 2-1, courtesy of Matt Stajan.
And see why he was so open on this play is line change, and then he just sort of reads the play, sneaks into the open ice. It's a bit of a lucky bounce there, but nonetheless, fires home his backhand. That's a good example, really, about reading the play and being patient, not being too over-enthusiastic and maybe with too much speed, taking yourself out of the play.
Gagliardi able to take the puck out of his own zone and feed it ahead, and there's Boma back on the ice, broken up that rush at the Canucks line by Tanev. Battle in front of the Vancouver bench. Gagliardi winds up with a puck and dumps it in on goal. Luongo gloves that, leaves it for Hamhuis. Pressured by Boma. Hamhuis plays it off the boards to Kassian. Drops it back to Tanev, and he'll bring it out. No, he won't. He'll play it to Hamhuis instead, who feeds it for Kassian. Missed him at the Calgary line. That's icing on Vancouver.
So we know about Henrik Sedin injuries. Let's take a look in the second period. What might have caused, he had a good chance there, and basically was just pushed over by Boma and Brody. But let's refresh everybody's memory from Thursday night when Martin Hanzal cut a swath through the Vancouver Canucks, not only with Henrik, but David Booth late in the game getting a $5,000 suspension or fine. Hanzal did.
For a high stick on Booth, and he also knocked Mike Santorelli out of that game, and he's not back off a face-off. So Martin Hanzal was a one-man wrecking crew that night.
No kidding.
Chris Tanev carries the puck out. Fires it in and around. Canucks change. Flames back to it. Stempniak lost the puck to Burrows. Burrows can't corral it. Weber tries. He can't. Knocked back out the center. Hoodler pressuring Edler. This pass at the linesman. Burrows gets control, though, and drops it off to Edler. Now Kessler. Dumps it in. Ramo out of the goal. Sweeps the puck to the corner. Daniel races onto it. Behind the net for Kessler. Trying to chip it free. He does, but it's a glove pass. And that draws a whistle with 13:25 to go in the third period. Matt Stajan gives Calgary a 2-1 lead in Vancouver on CBC. Hockey Night Close-Up brought to you by Subway Restaurants. Luongo missed 6 games with an ankle injury. Kelly, he's been good tonight.
He's been very, very good. In fact, keeping his team in it, because I think some cases the Calgary Flames have carried the play at times, and Roberto Luongo has just been very efficient and looks really, really focused right now, doesn't he? You know, he's had a tough start to the season when you consider all that's happening. He's been excellent at staying focused.
It's been solid tonight. I agree with you. I think Calgary's been the better team overall tonight, with some pushback by the Canucks, but I think the Flames deserving of this 2-1 lead as Vancouver looks to answer back. Here comes David Booth over the line, down the right side, spins away from Giordano, takes him down. Vancouver power play coming up. Nifty move by David Booth. The old spinorama forces Giordano into a tripping penalty, and Canucks get their second power play.
Pretty clever play by Hansen at the blue line, wasn't it? To kick that puck over to Booth, and then Booth, as you said, he's been skating pretty well since coming back into the lineup, and Giordano, I think maybe wow, that's something, isn't it?
Yeah, that is.
And then nice little spin move there. Giordano falls down and then throws his arm out. See right there, he just tripped up Booth, hitting his left leg. But I was really impressed with that play by Hansen.
You mentioned Booth skating well. He had a real tough start to the year, suffered a serious leg injury last season, and has been working with a power skater, and his skating is noticeably better from the start of the season now. Canucks second power play 0 for 1. Daniel, Kessler, Burrows up front. Edler and Weber man the points. Again, no Henrik Sedin. Battle in the corner. Daniel gets it back to Edler. On the forehand. fakes. Weber, one-timer. Ramo came across. Good position. Took that right off the crest and made the save.
Well, we saw Clint Malarchuk after the first period a little fired up. Well, I talked to him this morning about the Calgary Flames goaltenders, Ramo and Barron. One thing he's trying to do is make sure they're not too aggressive. There's a good example of it, a little bit deeper in your net. Read the pass from Edler to Weber for the one-timer in good position.
Reto Bear, a really aggressive goaltender. They got to rein that in, I think, a bit.
Too much so,
level,
yeah.
Guys will be able to figure that out.
Yeah. And for the most part, Clint has done a really good job of explaining that to him. And, you know, you can't be so focused always on the puck carrier. There are other guys on the ice.
Power play continues. Burrows along the boards. Daniel helps out to Burrows. Back for Daniel. Watched by Boma. Here's Burrows to Edler at the line. Edler works it across. Daniel, one-timer, stopped by Ramo. Rebound winds up in the corner. Brody steps into Burrows. Kessler gets the puck free. Bank pass to Weber. Kicks it up to his stick. Over to Edler for the one-timer. Another broken stick, and the broken blade goes flying into the stands. Edler back to the bench. Gets a new stick. Canucks keep the play alive. 57 seconds left in the power play. Here's Daniel with a shot. Didn't get it through. Gets it back out front. Chop wide by Burrows. Swats that out of the air. Edler hustles to keep it alive. Here's Daniel, right wing boards. To the point to Weber. Back to Daniel. Down low for Burrows. Missed him. It goes off the end boards. Ramo covers up at the side of the goal. 39 seconds to go in the penalty to Giordano.
Kerry Ramo having to look through a lot of traffic here. It's usually Burrows or Kessler in front of the net on the power play. In this case, it's going to be Kessler, and that's a big body to try and look around. So, Canucks, there's the broken stick. But that's what the Vancouver Canucks have to do. Get somebody in front, make it difficult for Ramo to see the puck, as they say in the league now, take his eyes away.
And there's the souvenir. This lucky fan going to walk home with a broken stick. Courtesy of Alex Edler. Second unit out there. Here's Hansen with a shot. Goes off Higgins' skate. Bounces over to Hamhuis. Hamhuis shoots. Deflected wide by Stempniak. And O'Brien's there to blast it off the boards. And on a play, that sails up into the crowd with 26 seconds to go in the Vancouver power play.
Yeah, they're going to have to start getting set up a little bit better. And I do like their idea, the Canucks, trying to get that one-timer, getting through it. If your power play is struggling, just find ways to get pucks to the net. And like I said, with Burrows or Kessler in front, get a deflection, get a rebound, get simple.
First unit back out there. Kessler wins the draw. Edler takes a shot. That bounces off traffic. Throw him back up front. It hit Burrows as Weber flung it off the boards. And the loose puck's clear down the ice. Lee Stempniak with the clear. Luongo leaves that for Edler. 3 shots on goal in the power play for the Canucks. One last rush with the man advantage. Here comes Kessler, full speed through center. Ahead to Weber, drops it off to Daniel Sedin. Daniel tried to feed it up front. Brody blocked that. Penalty's over. Giordano out of the box. Monahan gets the puck loose. Shane O'Brien's there to put it off the glass and outs. Approaching the midway mark of the third period.
Smart play by O'Brien. Just get it out of the zone, lock the puck so nobody can intercept it, get a line change.
Edler ahead to Kassian just off the bench. Now Hansen brings the puck in down the wing with a shot. Whistles that wide. Booth trying to get to it. Can't. Gets some help from Tanev. Bouncing puck along the boards. Giordano will put it behind the net for Weidman. Now Monahan lost it, but bounces free to Colborne, who's able to clear the zone. Dan Hamhuis. Now David Booth will bring it in. Kassian joins him on the rush and goes to the goal. Booth banks it behind the net to Hansen. Hard pass around to Hamhuis on the near side. Down low for Zach Kassian. Tied up by Weidman. Kassian gets away. Back to Hamhuis, left point. He gets a shot away. That's blocked. Colborne got on the way. It goes off his leg and out to center ice. Canucks try to quick up as the Flames were changing on the blue line, but that pass hopped away from Hansen. And back to it's Brody. Finally able to chip it out. Brought right back in by Jannik Hansen. Now Sestito just inside the line. Feeds it through to Kassian. Zach Kassian trying to cut out front. Has Hansen there with a pass and hopped away from him. Sestito couldn't get it either, and it slides to center. Yannick Weber dove but couldn't keep it onside, and the Canucks change anyway. 9.5 to go in the third. A 2-1 Calgary lead. Giordano and Stajan with the Calgary goals. Kessler with the Canucks goal. Backlund carries in with a shot through traffic. Luongo makes the save, and he's able to hang on with 9:28 to go in regulation. More pushing and shoving. It's been a theme tonight. In a rough one at Rogers Arena. Flames 2, Canucks 1 on CBC. The shenanigans in an opening face-off line brawl in the first period. Tom Sestito and Brian McGrattan are still in the game.
And you're surprised after all that?
They started it all.
So Sestito here, he pushes Gagliardi into his unsuspecting Weber. But both of these guys, Sestito and McGrattan, have some pretty good shifts. Sestito actually, in fact, earlier in that shift made a real clever little pass to Zach Kassian.
We talked about it earlier. He's got good hands for a guy who does his job. Of course, McGrattan and Sestito were the first fight on what turned out to be a 5-on-5 line brawl. So all the other combatants were secondary fights, and they all got tossed out of the game 2 seconds in to the first period.
Kellen Lane, 2-second first game ever in the National Hockey League.
Quite a debut. Line up fighting Kevin Westgarth. Brad Richardson to a loose puck in his own zone. 2-1 Flames lead. Tom Sestito across to Hamhuis. Former Prince George Cougar fires the puck in. TJ Brodie back forward. Daniel cuts that off. Took a bump, puts it behind the net. Giordano's there. Flames captain put it off the skate of the referee. Hamhuis kept it onside. Higgins had the stick chopped out of his hands by Giordano. That's going to be a penalty on Giordano as the Canucks go right back on the power play. Luongo's gone to the bench for the extra attacker. Here's Tanev. Works it down the right wing boards. Fakes a shot. Turns. Back to the line to Hamhuis. Hamhuis to Kessler. Kessler in the circle. Delayed call. 6 attackers. Kessler. Tanev. Hamhuis. One-timer. Hit traffic. Rommel may have got a piece of it. Canucks get control. Monahan knocks it off the stick of Higgins. And the Canucks will get their third power play with a chance to pull even.
Giordano's just being aggressive on this play. You're going to see Daniel Sedin, though, getting hit in front. Can't lose the brother now. And one-timer from Edler. He was a little bit slow in getting up, and then Giordano just pretty aggressive right there, and he knocks a stick out of the hands of Higgins, and that's the penalty. So Canucks have one more chance here with only 8:16. Get back in this one.
Well, that penalty, Kelly, means we now have 200 penalty minutes in this game. It's a record for a Canucks-Flames game. As the Canucks go to work on the power play, Weber scores! Took all of 4 seconds on the power play. Yannick Weber ties this game at 2.
Once again, this speaks to winning faceoffs in the offensive zone and getting chances. I talked last power play, but I like what the Canucks are trying to do and just trying to get simple and one-timers and shots through. That time it's Weber again. And that hits the stick of the Flames defenseman in front. See who that is. I couldn't catch a number. It's Lance Boma right there in an attempt to block that shot. Great attempt, in fact. That just hits the stick, and then that's why it goes over the glove of Rommel.
Power play goal, Weber's second goal of the season from Edler and Kessler, 11:48, and we're tied at 2 in Vancouver. Both teams have scored with a man advantage. Canucks have doubled their goal output from the last 3 games combined in this game alone with 2. As the puck goes out of play at the Calgary bench.
Interesting game now because you can definitely see the defensemen are really, they don't have much left. So
Yannick Weber will represent Switzerland at the Olympics for the second straight time, Kelly, and he does have a good shot.
This is what he's known for, isn't it? Get in position, get open for that one-timer, be ready for it, and just wire it at the net, and in that case, get a lucky break.
Zach Kassian replaces Yannick Hansen in the face-off after the puck had gone out of play, and the Canucks controlled their own blue line. Alex Edler ahead. Off of Booth and in. Kassian checked by Monahan. Giordano plays it out to Colborne, right wing center. Drops it off to TJ Brodie. Stepniak Byron brings it in. Back to Brodie. Top of the circle with a shot. Luongo able to make the save and hang on.
Just so impressed with TJ Brodie. You know, he's one of the smoothest skaters in the game. He's got a real good feel for when to jump into the play and so on. Seems to make the right first pass often. Doesn't seem to get rattled. been a real good game for TJ. You could tell right from his first shift that he was ready and he was on.
And he's played 28 and a half minutes tonight as well. Staging against Richardson on the faceoff. And they're both going to get waved out. Gagliardi and Higgins will replace them. To the left of Luongo. Scramble draw. Here's Gagliardi out front of the backhand. Luongo down, makes the save. TJ Gagliardi able to break through off the wing and get right in on goal. Luongo shuts the door. Dan Hamhuis brings it out. Gagliardi's in a 32-game goalless drought. Had a good chance there. Brody back in his own zone. Ahead for Stajan. Now Boma will bring it over the line. Shot deflects across to Gagliardi with a shot put that wide. Luongo never even saw it.
He didn't.
One off a stick and off the inboard glass. Gagliardi knocks down Hamhuis. Hamhuis from his knees able to make a play to the corner to Tanev, but Gagliardi stays on the play. Now Richardson will bring it towards the blue line for Vancouver. Ahead to Higgins. End of a shift, he'll chip it in and head off, and one of the Flames went to hit Higgins and wound up at his own bench.
That was Boma.
Head first over the boards. I had to change anyway, not to stay here. Flames come back over the line. Weidman, right point, almost lost the puck. Would have been a 2-on-1, but he makes a good play, gets it out front. Shot by Stempniak, whistles wide. Now the Canucks able to clear. That was close. Weidman almost mishandled the puck and did a good job to recover and set up Stempniak for a good chance on a one-timer. Still tied at 2, approaching the 14-minute mark of the third. Edler back to the puck. His stick didn't break this time. And he works it out himself down the left wing. Will chip it in. Burrows on the forecheck. Giordano bumped. Byron tries to clear. Gets help from Backlund, who bats it ahead. Both teams start a change. Alex Edler retreats with the puck. Finds Jannik Hansen. Flips the puck in. Giordano to it. Off the glass and out. Tanev. Now Hamhuis. Cassian got as far as the line, lost control there as he was checked by Byron. Bouncing puck, Byron brings it in. Cuts to the middle, ran right into Hansen and knocked him down, and here goes Tanev back the other way. 4 Canucks through center. Tanev leads the rush over the line, pulls it to the forehand with a shot, pad save Ramo. And the loose puck's fired around the boards, not out. Hamhuis able to keep it in. Gets the puck back with a shot off of Brody and out of play. 5:16, make it 5:15 to go. Third period of play. Flames, Canucks tied at 2 in Vancouver on Scotiabank Hockey Day in Canada. Game tied at 2, late third period. Kelly, with all that's gone on in this hockey game, do you think we're headed to overtime, or is it going to end before then?
Well, I don't know. I think the goaltenders are going to have some sort of say in it, but I do know that we're going to get a lot of good scoring chances, and I think that pretty clear that the players are pretty tired. Even in the commercial break, you could see the defensemen, they were really laboring.
Yeah, I know. I have a feeling it might end before overtime because you're going to get odd man rushes. Guys are running on fumes at this point.
I don't know if Ramo or Luongo would agree with you. I think they feel as though they're the difference makers.
Goalie's perspective.
Well, of course.
Here's Richardson behind the net. Wraparound knocked away before it got through to Ramo and carried out the center by TJ Gagliardi as Boma with him. Gagliardi dumps it in. Boma bumps Weber in behind the net. Richardson winds up with the puck. Inside 5 minutes to go in regulation. Here's Higgins. Got it as far as the line. That's broken up by Giordano and poked ahead by Brody. Stajan muscles the puck into the zone. Edler able to get control as Calgary changes. Vancouver starts to change as well. Tom Sestito by himself will play it in and turn to the bench. Ryan Kessler races onto a loose puck. Burrows behind the net, being watched closely, but trying to get it out front on the backhand. Bank pass to Hamhuis, quickly across to Tanev. Tanev gets the shot away. Backlund blocks. Tanev gets it back. Burrows at the point, missed the puck out to center ice. I wonder if that jaw protector is affecting his vision. He said it's not. We talked to him this morning, Kelly. He was talking about the fact he's been working with it since Christmas.
I think it would have to.
Here's Kessler stealing a puck on the right side. Shot by Daniel, stopped by Ramo. Hamhuis played it to the front of the goal. Daniel tipped that in behind the net. O'Brien battling with Kessler in the corner. Daniel Sedin comes over to help out. Stempniak knocks him down as the two 22s come together, and Lee Stempniak will try and clear it. Can't get it past Cassian, who kept it onside. Now bounces free to Hudler. He'll drop it back as the Canucks turn away, and Weidman settles things down. Sean Monahan, third in rookie goals this season, ahead to Colborne. Back for Monahan, broken up nicely by Yannick Hansen, and Zach Kassian turns up ice. Wheeling into the zone, wide right side with a shot. Ramos save. Giordano pokes the rebound behind his own net. Tied up by Kassian, took him down. They're going to call Kassian for the penalty, and it'll be offsetting. It'll be hooking and embellishing. So we'll get some 4-on-4 with 3:19 left in a tie hockey game.
Zach Kassian chasing down Giordano. Let's see. You make the call if you think that he embellished this one. Giordano getting chased from behind right there. The stick in, and
well, you can hear what the fans think about that. Yeah, you watch the Giordano grabs onto the stick. Kassian puts the stick in, and
now they're chirping at each other in the penalty box.
They both sit. Started this period 4-on-4, and we'll come close to finishing it that way. In a 2-2 game.
I love that.
Zach Kassian is quite the character,
isn't he?
Giordano's third trip to the penalty box this period. Face off to the right of Ramo. Kessler against Backlund on the draw. Weidman winds up with a puck. TJ Brodie. Backlund. Wheels out of his own zone away from Ryan Kessler. Carries into the Vancouver end. Wide left side out front. Weidman in traffic. Can't pull the trigger. Hamhuis gloves the puck back to the line. Not out. Hudler kept it in. Over to Michael Backlund. Shot blocked by Hamhuis. Whose legs have got to feel like tree stumps at this point in the hockey game, Kelly. Here come the Canucks 3-on-2.
He can barely get to the bench. He's hunched over.
Canucks dump it in. They'll change on the fly. You know if you're down men when you go to 3-on-2 and you dump it and change. Staging of a line with a shot off. Edler sticking out of play. 2.5 minutes to go in the third period.
Well, we've talked often about the progress that Michael Backlund has made. Give you an example of his confidence right here. This is going up against Ryan Kessler, maybe one of the best defensive players in the game. He gets around it pretty easily and carries that puck into the Canucks zone. They almost had a chance there with Weidman sneaking in again, which you got to wonder, why are you doing that when you're that tired?
Staging against Richardson on the draw. Luongo's left. Canucks win the faceoff. Edler plays it behind the net to Weber. Stepniak hustles over to give him trouble and does a good job to steal the puck. Back to the line of O'Brien. O'Brien with a shot through traffic. Luongo sees it all the way and he's able to hang on. Follow Team Canada on the road to the Olympics with up-to-the-minute results, news, stories, and more at cbc.ca/Olympics.
That's pretty funny. We're up here in the broadcast booth and we can look down over the penalty box, and Kassian and Giordano are still chirping at each other. Oh my.
Sometimes I think being a timekeeper at an NHL penalty box might be the best job in the world. Well, there's a steal by Kessler, trying to pull away. Brodie cuts him off. Kessler makes a move, but he put himself offside. Another frustration, fires the puck into the boards. And then Brodie and Weber come together behind the net. Quickly separated with 2:11 to go in regulation time.
Here's an example of the way that Brodie can skate. Kessler has a pretty good chance. He's going to attack the blue line, but Brodie just puts himself in real good body position here. And that's why Kessler, in an effort to try and put himself and the puck onside, Brodie not going to get a lot of credit for that, but that's a pretty good play. Well, it's a really good play.
Face off outside the Calgary line. Giordano and Kassian to finally stop talking to each other. There's going to be a timekeeper one day who's going to write a book. And I'll be the first guy in line to buy it.
Yeah, I'll be the second then. I've heard some of those stories, but of course, as a former goaltender, never had a chance.
Here's Hudler trying to split the D, but Tanev able to cut him off and knock the puck out of harm's way. Hudler back onto it. Kessler watching him. Hamhuis as well. Takes control. 30 seconds left in the 4-on-4. Hudler still battling. Steals it back. Good work by Yuri Hudler with a pass out front. Kessler sprawls to block it. Weidman gets the puck. Weidman over to Brodie in the circle. Fakes. Cuts in deep. Trying to work it out front. Kessler got a stick in there. Brodie gets it back. Flames pressure. Weidman at the line. Hudler cross to Brodie with room. Doesn't shoot. Kessler watches him as he carries the puck behind the net. Plays it to Backlund. Penalties to Giordano and Cassian wind down. They're back on the ice. Weidman, long shot. Luongo trouble with the rebound, but Kessler comes over to pick it up as Backlund couldn't get a stick to it. Here's Cassian out of the box. Through center ice. Works it over the line with speed. On his off wing with a backhand shot. Pad saved by Ramo. Got the left leg out. Richardson with the rebound out front. That hit Giordano and bounced down to Monahan. He'll try and clear. Can't. Tanev keeps it in. Final minute of play in the third. 2-2 game. Here's Weber at the line with a shot. Block. Edler at the other point. Gives the puck to Cassian with a wrister. Put it wide. Canucks pressuring now. Boma gets control. He finds Stempniak and the Flames break back through center. Stempniak over the line with Monahan. Stops on the half boards. Puts it behind the net. Sean Monahan can't get there. Byron races over to it. Monahan in the corner. Side of the goal to Stempniak. Checked by Edler. Weber helps out. Over to Cassian right side. He'll play it out the center to Daniel Sedin. Daniel slides it in. Giordano, good job staying with the Canucks. Daniel Sedin knocks the puck away. He peels off as Giordano gets the puck behind the net. Clears the zone. Hamhuis, 15 seconds left, back at his own line. Brings the puck out. Fires a long shot in wide. Time ticking down as Giordano gets to it. And just what the defensemen left in this game want, Kelly, is 5 minutes of sudden net overtime.
Pretty sure they're not all that thrilled. But players always say that they like the extra ice time. I think that tonight, though, is a little bit more than they were asking for.
So after the game was tied at 1 after 2, we see Calgary take a lead again on this goal here by Matt Stajan.
Excellent line tonight. Hard working, and they get a bit of a break there, and Stajan throws it to the net. Hits Tanev's stick, and then this one hits Boma's stick. Yeah, Weber with the one-timer, and so we are deadlocked at 2, and I see us right, Rick. You said that you could see an end to it before overtime because of the mistakes potentially made by the tired players, and I said, hold it. The goaltenders have a say in it. They've both been pretty sharp here late in the third. Kerry Ramo, I thought, had 2 really good saves in the last 4 minutes. One on Daniel Sedin, and then Zach Cassian coming out of the penalty box. Great energy, good backhand attempt.
Canucks outshoot Calgary 10-8 in the third. The Flames outshoot the Canucks 30-28 overall. So we head to overtime. Canucks won the first meeting of the season with the Flames in overtime. Mike Santorelli scored the OT goal. In fact, that was the first of back-to-back overtime winners for Santorelli, but he won't do that tonight because he was injured in the last Canucks game and didn't dress tonight.
Boy, isn't that a face right there of a tired player, Ryan Kessler? Kessler, by the way, made 2 incredible defensive plays that last minute and a half in his own zone. So
Giordano and Kessler were the other goal scorers in this game. They scored in the second period.
Well,
Kessler will start this overtime on the ice up front for Vancouver, and Giordano out there for the Flames on defense as we get set for 5 minutes of 4-on-4.
Let's see if they go for it or if they play a cautious style, considering what they have left in the tank. I say go for it.
I think from a Canucks perspective, they'll try because their shootout performances this year have not been good.
All right, I'll take your word on it then.
Chris Higgins drops it off to Dan Hamhuis. Yuri Hudler watches him. Tanev back to Hamhuis. Chris Tanev. What a great story he is.
Yeah.
Undrafted, late bloomer. Rochester Institute of Technology free agent signing, and he's been a great find for Mike Gillis as Higgins tries a weak shot. That's turned wide by Ramo. Puck comes back to the line where Hudler feeds it out the center ice to TJ Brody. Brings it into the Vancouver zone, makes a nice move. Brody gets room, trying to cut out front. Backhand shot. Easy stop for Luongo and plays it, but the whistle blows before he could. 4:12 left in overtime.
Once again, there's that skating. TJ Brody enters the zone and just very confidently winds and weaves his way into the middle of the slot. Now, Rick, I know you said that this is a fairly easy save. I'm going to tell you, that backhand, that's a tough save, really. Luongo put himself in good position, but you never know where a backhand shot is going to end up.
Spoken from a guy who's probably made a few of those in his life.
The occasional one. Not many good saves on Matt Sundin. I can tell you he had maybe the toughest backhand shot I've ever faced.
Brody's played nearly 34 minutes tonight. Face off to Luongo's right. Richardson against Monahan. In a 2-2 hockey game, Monahan wins the draw. O'Brien skates the puck back to the line. Fires it deep for Stempniak. Weber watches him, knocks it away, but O'Brien keeps it onside. Wires it around the boards. Edler to it. Plays it back the other way. Richardson will get to it first and bring it out to center ice. Bumped off the puck and a good hit by Stempniak. Canucks get it ahead and Daniel will bring it in. He's all by himself. Now plays it back for Edler. Missed the puck, but Weber will keep it alive. Works it down the boards, pokes it around, gets it back behind the net to Daniel. For Weber trying to jam it out front, but he's too close to the goal and couldn't get it there as Weidman knocks the puck free and the Flames have room to bring it out. Late in the shift from Monahan, he turns back under pressure from Jannik Hansen. That allows the Canucks to finish off a change. Dennis Weidman leaves the puck. Byron dumps it in. Up after it, took a bump on the inboards from Booth, and Jannik Hansen takes control, puts it behind the net to Tanev, who feeds it back to Hansen. Cuts to the middle of the ice. Jannik Hansen with a wrister from well up, gloved by Ramo, plays the puck dangerously, got away with it. And then Booth steps in his. Here's Hansen up front all alone, lost the puck, Booth to Hansen, he couldn't get a stick to it. Hansen gets it back. That was close. Booth now. He's had chances tonight. David Booth on the right side. Back to Tanev at the line. Over to Hamhuis. Hamhuis out front for Booth. Missed him. Big hop out of the corner to Hansen. Canucks are pressuring. Jannik Hansen skates along the line. Under pressure from Brody. Bounces off him. Hansen turns. Brody pressures. Hansen can't corral the puck and it's knocked out to center ice. Canucks right back in. Tanev with David Booth. Tanev trying to cut out front. Tanev turns. Still with the puck. Nice pass. One-timer. Burrows stopped by Ramo. Booth may have redirected that. Ramo makes the save. Weidman gets the puck. 2:15 left in overtime. Weidman turns away from Burrows, who falls. Weidman skates to center. Feeds it ahead to Michael Backlund. Hudler joins him on the rush. Backlund throws it to the front of the goal. Edler takes it away. Quickly ahead to Higgins. Higgins waiting for Weber to join him. Could be a 2-on-1. Higgins out front to Weber. That pass blocked by O'Brien. Edler gets to the loose puck. Skates it back to the line. Alex Edler with a long shot. Deflects off Backlund wide. Higgins to it in the corner. O'Brien right on him. Chris Higgins with control. Nifty play to Kessler trying to cut out front. Forced to the boards by Weidman. Kessler behind the net on the forehand to the backhand. Threw it out front, cut off by Ramo, and he'll cover up the puck with 1:37 left in overtime and some great chances for the Canucks in the last minute and a half.
Turnovers will always kill you in overtime. Ramo's got to hold that puck for a face-off, and then Byron gets knocked off the puck right here. And, well, is that one of the worst 2-on-0s you've ever seen? And then Burrows again going for his first goal. Ramo, excellent position, easy, made that save look easy, but sure it wasn't, a one-timer.
Jannik Hansen lost the puck and Booth elected to pass. And we're still tied at 2. Stajan drops it off to Brody. Now Giordano, out to Stempniak. Slowly over the line. Falls down. Puck under him. Now it squirts free. Stempniak back up with the puck and a shot up high. Luongo makes the save. Stempniak gets it behind the net. He's knocked down. Played back to the line to Brody. Fans. Hands it away. Richardson brings it out to center ice. Drops it off for Daniel Sedin with Richardson 2-on-2. Back to Richardson. Richardson swings wide with a shot. Pad save by Ramo. That came through traffic. He made a nice stop. Final minute of play in overtime. Brody out to center ice. Ahead to Stajan. Stajan spins away from Richardson. Finds some open ice with a slapper. Blocker away by Luongo. Weidman gets the puck. Back to Stajan. Flames buzzing now. 45 seconds left in overtime. Stajan pressured. Look out. Could be in trouble. Kicked out to center ice. Following up is Edler. Banks it ahead for Richardson. Canucks almost got away with an odd-man rush. Swatted down by Weber into the zone. He's gassed. Turns back to the bench. 30 seconds left in sudden death as Shane O'Brien brings it out. On the right wing to Hudler. Feeds it ahead to Backlund. He'll bring it in. Down the right wing. Backlund to Hudler. Hudler turns. Feeds it back to the line. Weidman can't take the pass. That goes down the ice, and that might do it in overtime with 13 seconds to go. Ramo leaves it behind the net for Weidman. Pressured by Kessler. Giordano comes in to help out. To Hudler. Back to Weidman. Well, we've had just about everything else in this game, so why not a shootout?
Finish it off the right way.
2-2 through 65 minutes.
Both goaltenders making nice saves in overtime here. Richardson gets a good chance. Little bit of traffic right here, and he just lets it go, and with the left leg, see Ramo just gets a toe on it, and then Matt Stajan enters the Canucks zone and wires one, and Luongo is able to get an eye on that one and perfectly deflect the puck into the corner, so there's no rebound out in front. Well, who do you
to the shootouts?
Who do you throw in there?
It's been spin the wheel for John Tortorella with the shootouts this year. The Canucks have just not been able to settle on three guys, and nobody's really stepped up and grabbed it. Tortorella does not like the shootout. I've had this conversation.
Yep.
He hates it.
Yep.
He wishes it would just go away. But these are valuable points. And I'm not suggesting that because he doesn't like it, they don't work on it. But you got to figure out a way to battle through these games and find a way to pick up these extra points.
Yep, change things up, and I think a lot of it's just gut feel, who you think has a hot hand that night, and see if they can go out there. I kind of going to be guessing here, but would Michael Backlund be one of the guys for the Flames, the way that he's played lately?
I would suggest that he'll shoot for Calgary. Ryan Kessler, I think, will probably be the first shooter for the Vancouver Canucks.
Yep.
He's had some success historically in the shootout. But this has been a real Achilles heel for this Vancouver hockey team. Flames will shoot first.
I like Kerry Ramo, the way he plays. He really holds himself really well. He sure looks like he's got a lot of composure. He battles hard in his own way, but he just never really looks like he gets flustered.
Back in the NHL, spent 4 years playing in the KHL with Omsk. The Omsk Rough Riders, we found out a few weeks ago.
Yes. That was awesome.
We
Caught me
kid.
off guard.
We kid. 48 games over the previous 3 years prior to that with Tampa Bay, but Ramo, you're right. He's been solid tonight.
Great partnership. Absolutely. Great partnership between Berra and Ramo. Bob Hartley talked about their chemistry, and of course, Roberto and Eddie Lack have great chemistry as well. And what a situation for the Canucks to find themselves after losing Roberto Luongo. Eddie Lack has passed every test thrown his way and just really continues to grow. He's great for the Canucks right now and for the future as well.
Well, the Canucks have been in a fortunate situation with goaltending depth for the last while. Corey Schneider and Luongo were obviously a good tandem. Again, they got along very well. And Luongo, we talked a lot about it last season, really handled that well considering the circumstances.
Better than anybody would expect, or I don't know if anybody's handled a situation that difficult as graciously as Roberto Luongo did last year. Terrific.
I would agree with that. And then to have what happened in the summer, completely against expectations, and to have him come back and play as well as he has, Kelly, through injuries, back with Team Canada again for the Olympics this year. I think one of the biggest improvements for me anyway in Roberto Luongo's game is just mentally. I think he's so much stronger now.
Yeah, I would agree. I think the finals in 2011 when they lost, I think I noticed a change in him too, taking maybe more responsibility after goals and things like that. He's always been a really proud athlete, there's no question about it, but I think just showing his human side that all of us really appreciate to see.
In the meantime, at the other end, you've got Ramo and Berra trying to replace Mika Kiprasov, who's been a mainstay in the Calgary crease for so long. And
why, you would suggest that's easy?
Yes. Not easy.
No.
I don't think they have an answer yet, too.
No, they don't.
Joe Colborne will shoot first for Calgary.
He's excellent in the shootout. Now, is he going to do that backhand to forehand move and go about 18 inches on the stick side?
He's 3 for 4 this season, 3 for 5 in his career. Colborne against Luongo. Scores! 5-hole.
What hands? I think he froze Luongo that way. I was looking for that signature move of his, and he just waited, and then Luongo, not much open. Oh boy. That's because he got it about a foot in the air. Had he gone lower, I think Luongo would have had it.
Alex Burrows, first shooter for Vancouver, back in the lineup. 12 for 29 in his career, swings out wide. Stumbles. Gets back on the puck. Cuts out front with a shot, and Ramos shuts the door.
Well, he'll have to keep fighting through that, but that's the way his season's going, and loses possession of the puck right here. Wisely continues to follow up on the puck, though. That's still a live play.
Little rust. Wow. On Alex Burrows. Shows his frustration as Yuri Hoodler shoots next. 1 for 5 this year, 14 for 44 in his career. Flames leading scorer, right in, stopped by Luongo. Trying to go 5-hole, Luongo shut the door.
Think he was waiting for that. No goaltender likes to be beat 5-hole, and so you think the next guy's going to come down and do the same thing. You're going to close that up pretty quickly if you have any idea that he's going to go there.
Yannick Weber, 1 try this year, 1 in his career, didn't score.
Is he going to shoot? He's got a terrific shot.
See if he's got enough energy to skate to the goal. With the ice time the defensemen have logged tonight. Here comes Weber, stopped by Ramo, no, he scores! Ramo looked like he had it, but it squeaks through. And Weber draws the Canucks even.
Wow, does he shoot the puck though? And because of Ramo's backward continual motion, he basically just drags this puck into the net himself. All right. Lee Stepniak now. He likes high glove.
2 for 3 this year. Here comes Stepniak with speed. Backhand, Luongo with a save.
All right, so changing things up a little bit. Maybe show a little bit of high glove. Does he open up the blade? Yeah, a little bit right there. Then he goes backhand.
Kessler sometimes goes to that kick move, the little fake leg kick before he shoots. Well, see if he pulls that one out of the bag of tricks here. Crowd on its feet. Been a wild night in Vancouver, and Ryan Kessler has a chance to win it in the shootout. Put it wide. Looking stick side, missed the net, and we continue.
That's such a difficult save to make if he hits the net. Said it for years now. If you can make it about 18 inches off the ice on the stick side, it's awfully difficult for a goaltender to make that save, but he just shoots it a couple inches wide.
Sean Monahan, 13 goals this season, 2 for 4 in the shootout. Working in on Luongo. Stopped by Luongo.
Luongo is very aggressive on that one. He came about 2 feet outside his crease when Monahan picked up the puck, and then he just read that perfectly. He's not fooled at all by anything that Monahan attempted.
Again, the Canucks with a chance to win it. This time, Zach Kassian. 0 for 2 this year. 1 for 5 in his career. Kassian, stopped by Ramo. Nice save as Kassian goes backhand, and we continue on to round 5.
Boy, did he move well from his left, hard to his right on this play right here. Ramo just extends himself. That's a pretty good move by Kassian.
That's a good stop.
Michael Backlund getting his chance.
I thought we might see him in the top 3, but he shoots 5th for Calgary. Backlund in his career is 0 for 3.
But a more confident player right now.
He is, to put the Flames back on top. Stop by Luongo. Glove save. And now Chris Higgins with a chance to win it.
Backlund, I think, waiting for Luongo to get down, and he doesn't. He stays basically right up on his feet, which you don't see too often anymore, but Chris Higgins now with a chance.
0 for 4 this year. Chris Higgins for the win. Scores! And the remaining players on the bench pour onto the ice in celebration.
Well played game. Higgins with an excellent move, just getting Kerry Ramo to open up, then slides it 5-hole. That's a pretty happy bunch, isn't it, right now? Well, not that bunch, but the ones in blue still celebrating on the ice. Here it is, similar to the Cassian play for Ramo. You got to go hard this time from his right to his left. See, just opens up a little bit, stick a little bit out in front. And there it is. Well, that game was interesting, wasn't it?
It had it all. Chris Higgins with the shootout winner. Game that started with a bang, ends in a shootout. Canucks are a perfect 3-0 against Calgary this year as they win 3-2 as we go to Elliot Friedman for the 3 stars. Elliot.
Rick, here are tonight's 3 stars, and not surprisingly at the top of the list, defenseman Dan Hamhuis, a career-high 36-12 tonight. Dennis Wideman, a career-high 38-05, the most time played in any one game in the NHL so far this season. And then Ryan Kessler, a goal and an assist. When we come back, we'll break down, start dissecting a game I don't think we have very much to talk about tonight. Dan Hamhuis on After Hours 2.